Oh, it was a beautiful day in downtown Chicago, but let me tell you, storm clouds are brewing because a collision of great force is about to occur here on the south side as the red-hot Cleveland Guardians, winners in 7 of their last 9, take on the White Sox, who have won 6 straight. And they've done it in completely different ways. When you think about Chicago, they've done it with pitching. Cleveland, it's offense and late offense.
Well, after that sweep out in Oakland to come home, they finally started to play some home games. You know, they had six home games going in the last homestand. They got their walk-off win, and they didn't look back. 5 come from behind wins. They had 3 in their last at-bat. So they're scoring from the 7th inning on. They're starting to put it together, a little home field advantage. So it's a nice little road trip now to face Chicago here.
Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning, the former Gold Glove center fielder in Cleveland. And when you talk about Cleveland right now, offensively, it's nice to see Franmil Reyes back being a force. He's still not back in the cleanup spot, but Tito dropped him down to that 6 hole, and it's paid off.
Well, it took a little pressure off him. And now Franmil's not trying to hit everything out of the ballpark. He's putting a nice stroke together and hitting line drives all over the field. You know, they may be singles. He's mixed in a double or so, and he hit a home run. But you don't worry about that. He's off, he's running, and he's doing much better.
Look at the White Sox, though. This is a team built for offense, or so you would think. They're not scoring, but their pitching has been outstanding.
Yeah, they have been rolling. That's why they're on that 6-game winning streak, because, you know, 4 runs or more or less, they've scored 22 of 27 games. So offensively, they're not going to be hitting the baseball. And we always pitch tough against the White Sox, so it should be a very good series.
Think back to that 3-game sweep in Cleveland. They held them to 3 earned runs in the 3 games total. So if Cleveland can do that again, they've got a great chance to come in here and beat them up once again. We'll be back with tonight's first pitch, and we'll check in with Andre Knott, who has news on Owen Miller and trying to find him a spot defensively to go with that red-hot bat. Cleveland Guardians baseball brought to you by Meyer. When we support the home team, we all win. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. For baseball, it will be breezy. Could be another adventurous night in the outfield for those guys trying to catch fly balls. Zach Plesac hoping to continue his mastery over the White Sox. His only win this year came against Chicago back in Cleveland. Let's go down now to Andre Knott. Owen Miller. He's been hitting everything in sight. Get a little closer. Come on.
I'm
come on.
Close
Let's get in close.
Let's
come in for a hug.
Come on now. No. We talk about, and I ask Arch this all the time, how does a young player find his way into the lineup when he doesn't have a position? Owen Miller has figured it out by hitting the cover off of the baseball. Tonight he's at second base. We've seen him at first base. He's bounced all around the lineup, but now that he's hitting cleanup, Mike Sarball, the infield coach and third base coach, says it's a little bit easier to prepare him for what they need.
How you're doing at the plate only builds your confidence in all aspects of the game, and I think it's going to help him defensively, because I know he feels good about what he's doing offensively, and that can only help him. So I think that's a plus. I know when he came up last year, he had some struggles offensively, and I think that can affect, especially for a young player, it can affect their whole game. So I think that's only an added bonus, that he's swinging the bat well and getting him in there and just building that confidence.
As you guys look at the lineup tonight, you'll see Ahmed Rosario is out in left field, something we will talk about throughout the evening. Ahmed is ready. He's smiling. But as we go through the evening, we'll talk about how these young guys are making guys move around, because the lineup is getting set because of what they're doing at bat, gentlemen.
Well, Owen's in good hands with Mike Sarball. He's very good at what he does. So, it's just a matter of getting playing time.
All right, we'll be back with tonight's first pitch. It's the Guardians and the White Sox from the south side of Chicago. Next. Well, the White Sox have taken the field. They've got the south side all-black unis working tonight, and flamethrower Michael Kopech on the bump.
Yeah, 6'3", 225 pounds, 25 years old, in the starting rotation this year. Be his 6th start. All 5 have been no decisions. He's never pitched more than 5 innings. Twice he's pitched 4 innings. So, they're trying to stretch him out, but he's got outstanding stuff, a good arm, a good fastball, good slider. But we'll see if he can get it. He has not beaten the Guardians at all. So this will be his 7th, actually his 2nd start and his 6th appearance.
Here is Terry Francona's starting lineup presented by Progressive. Miles Straw leads it off. Stephen Kwan in the 2-hole. Jose Ramirez will bat third, then Owen Miller, followed by Josh Naylor and Franmil Reyes. Andreas Jimenez stays red hot. He's hitting seventh. Ahmed Rosario and Austin Hedges bats ninth.
Checking out the defense. Brought to you by Rally House. The Sox defense looks like this. A.J. Pollock in left. Robert is in center. Sheets over and right. On the infield, Moncada gets a start back at third. His first start of the year. Tim Anderson is short. Garcia at second. Abreu is at first. McGuire behind the plate. They are last in the American League in fielding. They had issues with defense back in Cleveland.
Did they ever? Charlie Ramos will call the balls and strikes. Hunter Wendelstadt, the crew chief, is at first. Chad Whitson at second. Adam Hamari is at third. We are ready to go. Miles Straw digs in. White Sox have won 6 in a row. They are a game over 500 at 14-13. The Guardians, winners in 7 of their last 9, have gotten back to the 500 mark. And Michael Kopech's first pitch, a slow chopper cut off by Moncada, the third baseman. Throws out Miles Straw, one away. Our storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. When you talk about the Cleveland offense, it is a 1 through 9 approach. Everybody has to do their part, and when they have been successful, it's not 1 or 2 guys. It seems like it's everybody that pitches in.
Team party.
And for Chicago, Yohan Moncada making his season debut. They've also activated Joe Kelly, so he'll be available, you would think.
And Pollock, who's playing left field, first time he's played against the Guardians this year. He was hurt the last time they were in Cleveland.
High fastball to Stephen Kwan, who rides an 8-game hitting streak into tonight's contest. Good fastball. It's in there for a strike. Game time temperature tonight, 78 degrees. Boy, it's beautiful.
How good does that feel?
Feels like summer. It is breezy, and that wind is sustained up to 20 miles an hour coming in out of the south, blowing in from right field. But because this is an enclosed ballpark for all intents and purposes, it's impossible to predict what the wind effect is down on the field until you're out there trying to catch one of those fly balls.
Yeah, we were watching it in batting practice, and again, it's blowing in from right. It looks like it's going to knock it down, but it circles in here.
Kopech misses up high. 3 balls and a strike.
Players said during BP, ball flew out the left, knocked down in right field, Arch.
That's what it looks like. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they had to deal with it all weekend in Cleveland.
There's ball 4.
Well, that's something that Kopech can do is walk some batters.
Yeah, it's his 12th walk against 23 strikeouts and 23 innings of work. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Michael Kopech. Heavy dose of fastball, and why not when you can throw it like he does?
Yeah, he gets it up in the mid-90s, and you know he's got a nice slider, curveball, and a changeup. But he has not given up a home run this year.
Well, the media here was asking Tony La Russa before the game why he has not gone so deep in games. He only went 4 innings. You talked about him that they used him as a reliever last year.
Right.
Tony La Russa said they are going to be on the side. They're going to be on caution. They're not going to go push him too far too soon. He said they may not let him go 7, 8, 9 innings until after the All-Star break because of his injuries in the past, and they want to protect that arm.
Cautiously optimistic. He missed the 19 season recovering from Tommy John, and they worked him out of the bullpen. He did make a couple starts last year, but he's got a very good arm. Came over from Boston, and you can understand why.
Not only did he miss the 19 campaign with Tommy John, then he sat out the 2020 campaign because of the COVID season. So that's 2 full years of downtime.
Right.
Up and away, he missed.
But this is one thing that I think the Guardians will do. They'll make him get in the strike zone. You know, it's not a team that likes to strike out a lot. Their swing and miss rate, especially the top 3 guys in this lineup, is some of the best in baseball.
Absolutely. 3 of the top 5.
Yeah, so I mean, those guys are going to make you work. You don't help this guy out. Make him bring his fastball down, and let's see what his secondary pitches offer.
Jose got after that 2-0 offering.
You guys
back into the seats.
You guys talked about the defense problems that the White Sox have had. Also, stolen bases. They have all given up a lot, and it's something they're working on. It's been a problem for the White Sox. They gave up the most in baseball last year. Still having some of those struggles with their pitchers this year.
Good to hear.
Just remember that.
That means the green light will be go.
Almost hit him, 3-1.
I look out there if I'm a hitter. It looks like the umpires are playing for him too. They don't have gloves on down there, do they? It looks like they got about
12 defenders.
Yeah, 7 guys out there on the infield. We're not playing Toronto again, are we?
Runner goes on a 3-1 pitch, and Jose whacks it foul off to the left. Full count.
Good pitch to go on, 3-1, because he's got to throw a strike, and Jose, if he's ready, he got after it and just fouled it off. I would say, yes, you're going to go again. Send him again. 3-1. You have confidence that Jose is going to put the ball in play.
He has the best put the ball in play rate in the American League among hitters. Toughest guy to strike out. Not going on the 3-2. And it's a routine fly ball to right field.
Yeah, had him out in front of a breaking ball, 3-2. But you see, he wasn't going to challenge Jose. Jose was looking for the fastball. I'm surprised that Quan didn't start.
And there are 2 away for Owen Miller. It's one of those moments in a ball game, though, that you look back on later and say, there are a few key spots where a pitcher has to make a pitch, and he just did.
Was one.
That was a good one.
To the hitter that you have to make it to. Exactly. Well, we'll get this team on the road and see if they can get the lead. They've been falling behind a lot at home, but the comeback kids have been doing a nice job.
Well, here's Owen Miller, who's hit .370 in road games already this year.
Oh boy, he was off and gone. I mean, he jumped twice.
And he still gets in there safely. It'll be a stolen base, his first.
You know, most guys that take that jump that Quan did will end up going back to the bag because they get scared and they panic. Well, he did. He jumped out and just kept going. So that was good for him, and Kopech never saw him. So that tells me he doesn't see the runner when he's coming set in the stretch. So that may be one reason you're able to run on him.
Well, here we are again with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. And the Guardians are the best in baseball as a team, hitting .322.
For Quan, that was his first stolen base on the year.
Back to the screen. Miller himself, not too shabby, 6 out of 18 when he's had a runner in scoring position. But with 2 down and 2 strikes, this Monday evening crowd mustering up a little enthusiasm for this 1-2 pitch. Out of play down the right side.
Well, for a guy that throws that fastball, would you say 60-some% of the time? I've seen an awful lot of sliders. Early.
Now remember, this is Reese McGuire behind the plate, not the veteran Yasmani Grandal. Not that has a huge impact.
No, but you would think that they have their game plan going over everything and how they want to face certain hitters. So I think they'll both be on the same page, but shocking to me.
There's a ball hit toward right field. Sheets coming in. Drops the ball. The Guardians will score first as Kwan comes home. Into second base is Owen Miller.
And
Sheets just simply botched it.
I mean, I thought it might drop in front when it went off the bat, but when I saw he got there, he might have taken his eye off it. Now he's a first baseman, but he's playing right field, but it's a very catchable ball right there. Clank off the fingers, and it falls. So they will play from in front today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a shocker right there.
Error on Sheets.
Especially after the way they started out that one game back in Cleveland.
Quickly, yesterday we talked about Manoah not pitching the way he did against the Yankees, Arch, not throwing as many fastballs. We know he didn't like the balls, but you guys are talking about we're seeing something different early here. Look at another off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
Is it because the Guardians have shown that they can hit fastballs? I'm asking.
Well, you go to the numbers.
Right.
You gotta. I think they're a better breaking ball hitting team than fastball hitting team. That's just my person.
Well, we're in back-to-back days with guys with really good heaters that aren't.
That's shocking.
Sitting on it, you know.
I mean, you got to establish fastball first. He hasn't pitched against him. You know, there it is. You quit messing around. Let's go. Establish heater, and then you work everything else works off the fastball.
Well, that breaks a streak too, by the way. 6 consecutive games where the opposition had scored first against Cleveland. So as you say, Rick, something new, something different tonight.
Yeah, that's a shocker. Get on the road and play from in front. I like that. We're a better team, even though they had their comeback shoes on. What were they, 0-10 before they got their first?
Right. They lost their first 10 when the opposition had scored first. Josh Naylor. That ball ran in off the plate to even the count. Josh has been in a really good place offensively. Last 8 games, he's collected 9 hits, and in those 9 hits, he has 8 runs batted in.
Yeah, he's been clutch. He's been one of the good ones with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and overall just with runners in scoring position.
And that almost hit him. Full count, and here again, you mentioned it early. This lineup has a way of, you know, if you don't throw strikes, they're going to make you work.
They have a way, man. They make you work hard to get out of innings, and that's the key. And when you can score with 2 outs, that's a backbreaker to some teams.
Franmil Reyes waiting on deck. The 3-2 to Naylor. Ball 4, second walk of the inning. And for a guy who they're being very cautious with because of injuries and just not a lot of innings under his belt at the big league level, he's burning through a lot of his pitches here in the early going.
Well, go back and think about it. The leadoff hitter, Miles Straw, swung at the first pitch, and there was an out. Then you get a walk, and then you get a deep count to Ramirez, and then you get the drop ball and error. So it may have shaken him up a little bit.
Well, you said it at the outset. Defensively, it's been an issue for the White Sox. It was clearly an issue when they came to Cleveland. A lot of people felt like it looked like they were not ready to play.
And they weren't. La Russa took the hit for that one game when he said that. But I will say that's their 8th error against the Guardians so far this year. That's their 23rd on the year. So a quarter of them have come against us. And this is only game number 4.
All right, so during Franmil Reyes' 6-game hitting streak, he has a dozen hits.
I love it. Look at that. 10 fastballs. Remember, he would swing at all breaking balls earlier when he was in his slump. Now what's he hitting? He's hitting the fastball. That's the money ball.
Here's another stat for you. The Guardians are 7-0 when Franmil has more than 1 hit. So that tells you how important he is to this lineup. When he gets going,
how many?
They win.
What's their record?
7-0 when Franmil.
Well, tell him he's got to get a couple hits a day more often.
one at bat at a time, Arch.
I hear you. See, in between.
Yeah.
He saw that fastball coming, and he was ready to pull the trigger by the time he realized it wasn't going to be a strike. And that's off to the right, 0-2. Perhaps Ethan Katz whispered just the right advice to Kopech. Got him looking with a nasty slider to end the inning. But Stephen Kwan draws a one-out walk. He swipes second base. And then a gift on a drop ball in right. And the Guardians strike first.
Guardians tonight. He will be the starter, brought to you by Northeast Ohio Ford Dealers, making his 6th start. Now, Zach has been getting behind. His control hasn't been up there. A lot of pitches have been up in the zone. Let's see if he can stay behind the ball, stay behind the rubber, and get the ball down to this team.
Tim Anderson steps in to lead us off. That is probably going to get out of play, and it will. Anderson begins the game tonight, 5th in the American League with a .337 batting average.
Yeah, he's multi-hit games. What's he have? 11 of them now this year. This guy is just a hitter.
Plesac, when he faced the White Sox in Cleveland, he retired the first 6 in a row to start the game. Got a double play ball in the 3rd, a lot of run on the 4th, and then really was pretty dominant the rest of the way.
Well, he just started off as his normal April, but then he got hot so far in the month of May. And they haven't been scoring a lot of runs. We told you earlier, 22 out of the 27 games they have played, they have scored 4 runs or less.
But there are signs that they are about to break loose,
right?
Because so far in the month of May, the team batting average is 50 points higher than it was in April. They're hitting .261 collectively, so that's a sign that they might be on the verge of getting hot.
They're going to come out of it. I mean, they had some injuries, and they still do have some guys that aren't playing because of injuries. But this is a team. These two teams lock in, and they're a lot of low-scoring games, or 2 runs or less is how they play each other. It's always a tight ball game.
Swung on and missed. He went chasing. Anderson strikes out, 1 away.
That's a good sign, keeping that pitch down in the strike zone. Actually got him to chase that little slider there. Nice.
The rest of Tony La Russa's starting lineup presented by Progressive. Yohan Moncada making his season debut steps to the plate right now. Then it's Jose Abreu, Luis Robert, Yasmani Grandal, and Gavin Sheets in the middle. A.J. Pollock, Reese McGuire, Leori Garcia.
Yeah, and it's nice to get this guy back in there for the very first time. Switch hitter, 3rd baseman. It means a lot to this offense.
He spent 6 games at AAA on a rehab assignment. He hit .318, couple of homers. They figured he's ready. It's amazing how that oblique strain can cost you that much time, isn't it?
No, well, yeah, but
look at Fred Mill a year ago.
Think about it, hitting, man. That's the turn, the torque that you do. Yeah, it's easy to hurt it again. But it's funny, these guys go down. They're ready when they hit a home run or 2 in the minor leagues. Let's go. I'm ready to go back.
I don't want to waste.
At least they feel good about themselves.
Moncada, look, there were a lot of fanfare when he came here to Chicago, and it didn't happen right away. He had his struggles. I mean, the one year he struck out over 200 times, and there were a lot of people wondering, uh-oh.
Yeah, he led the league in strikeouts, but I'll tell you what, he tightened it up, and he really found his zone. Oh, welcome back. Off the padding there, he'll get first base.
So Moncada took a fastball inside.
Well, trying to go inside, and you can see the padding he has on. It just goes right off of that, so he'll be fine.
Here is Jose Abreu. Abreu with a hit in 4 straight games. He's also driven in a run in 4 straight games. Quick throw over, and my God, it just did get back in time.
Yes, he did.
This shouldn't have been that close, but it really was.
Well, he's not that far off, but he doesn't realize who is on the mound. Wow. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Look at Boston saying, you didn't have much of a lead.
Boston usually screaming. I didn't hear him this time. Now we're all looking. You better tell him.
He lost his breath. He thought he had him.
Well, here's another guy. You're talking about the White Sox heating up. This is a guy you worry about. Hit a home run this weekend against the Red Sox and helped them win a game. And you know the Guardians like going inside on him. Even though they don't like it, but that's what they're going to do.
A year ago, I don't know how many times they hit him last year, but I'll tell you, we had a couple of riffs going between these two ball clubs. You got hit in the head here.
Yeah, no, that's when it got pretty bad. Other than you talked about Plesac in the open, you're dead on. When I talked to Carl Willis about it, he goes, Andre, he just has to use his legs. I don't want him to think about anything else. He says, if you use the legs and stay on that back leg, the ball will come down.
Stay behind the rubber. That's right.
And the velocity comes along with it, and everything he's been looking for just comes from his legs.
And that's power, too. Right. You were talking about miles per hour on his fastball. When guys open up a little early, you just don't get the zip on it.
And that's what, and Zach even told me when we were back in Cleveland, he goes, I feel like I'm throwing uphill. So
and he is. Look at him. You see him get under that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to just concentrate on staying tall on the mound with that back leg and keep his body back and let the arm catch up. His arm's just not catching up to him. But when you're searching for it mechanically, you don't feel it. That's
really close that time. My God, it just did get back.
Hey, Matt, anybody have pickoff moves like this down when he was in the minors?
I don't think so.
Welcome back.
That's why he was hitting home runs. He didn't want to run.
He's not even that far off the bag, as Rick told you, and he's almost picked him off twice.
He said, okay. Yeah, he's not going anywhere now.
Out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Abreu.
You know, I'm sure, Andre, with the Sox playing here and when they came to Cleveland, the weather hasn't been all that well for them either.
No, I mean, think about, you were just talking about the last homestand, 2 doubleheaders. Well, the 3-game series with the White Sox was a doubleheader in a single game because of rain.
Exactly. Had to go through that, and it's been a tough month for a lot of clubs.
Low and away, 2-2.
It's all right. I like seeing that down, though, in the zone.
In the right field. Stephen Kwan makes the catch. 2 away.
Let's check out the Guardians defense, brought to you by Rally House. Out in left field, making his 2nd start of the year. Ahmed Rosario's in left, Straw in center, Kwan over in right. It'll be Ramirez at 3rd, Jimenez at short, Miller at 2nd, Naylor at 1st, and Hedges behind the plate.
There is Luis Robert. This guy's hitting everything in sight right now. 7-game hitting streak. He's 12 for his last 29. And fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, a very talented young man. Remember, he got hurt in Cleveland last year. That severe leg injury, running down the first baseline.
Watching him take batting practice before the game, Rick, you know, that first round, he's hitting inside out. He looked like a golfer just hitting high fades down the right field line, just trying to bleed him inside the chalk. And then the next time up, he's hitting bullets
homers
off
to center,
the batter's eye in center field,
with the wind blowing in and pretty hard. Good pitch.
Just off the plate. That tells you how locked in Robert is.
Yeah, that's a good pitch right there. Well, and anytime you say a guy's been swinging the bat well, one thing he does, he doesn't swing at pitches off the plate. They make sure they swing at strikes. That's how locked in they are, and it's all a matter of seeing the baseball. A lot of times when they're in slumps, you don't see the ball as well.
Yeah, you always point out that when some hitters are going bad, they feel like they need 3 swings. They just have to get 3 swings in.
Yeah, they're scared.
And that leads to bad at-bats because you're swinging at bad pitches usually.
I see a pitch that's close, but it's not that close by the time you're done swinging.
Three-one offering, and it's slowly chopped up the third baseline foul.
Good thing it was foul because there's a pretty good chance you wouldn't throw him out.
Yeah, and you know, you never take any chances with a Roger Bossard dynamo. You never know what shenanigans he might have pulled before.
Well, that's the bloodlines that come with that family. They've been groundskeepers for years, about 100 years almost, I'd say. Abel Bossard, the granddad, and then you had Harold, Marshall, the sons, and Roger here is a son of theirs. So it's gone on for generations.
It's a family tradition,
and they have been one of the best for forever.
Runner goes 3-2, line to center, base hit. On his way to third is Moncada. And the White Sox have runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, there you go. You said he was locked in. His streak continues, and he put a good swing on it. With Moncada going off, he gets a 3-2 changeup, but that ball stayed middle of the plate. So he hit it a little inside out swing. So they will have runners at the corners now with 2 outs. Plesac going to try and shut it down.
Well, here is Yasmani Grandal, and he's making his 11th start as the designated hitter. He's only started 13 games behind the plate. They're trying to keep him fresh. The problem is, it's one thing to say, hey, we got to keep this guy's bat in the lineup. He's hitting 173. So it's not like he's setting the world on fire here at the outset.
The thing of it is, you can handle that 173 if it's behind the plate. If you want that designated hitter, you want some offense.
The one thing Grandal has done is get on base. He's drawn a walk 7 of the last 8 games. He's one of the only hitters in this lineup that will be patient.
Right, that's true, because you look at them, they're last in the league in walks. They don't like to walk. They want to swing.
Plesac, though, like his counterpart, making a lot of pitches here in the early inning.
Yeah.
Early going.
Well, and you can't worry about it. Robert at first base, he has 5 stolen bases, been caught one time. You don't worry about him. You worry the hitter here. That's the guy you have to get out. You don't want to fall behind and have to groove him one.
I believe the only time Robert was caught was in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's the only time they've been caught as a team. They have 15 stolen bases as a team, and that was the one time that he was caught. Everything. Wow. He's trying to figure it out on the fly. He's been upstairs with all 3 pitches here, and he hasn't found the strike zone yet.
Wow. A 4-pitch walk to Grandal, and the bases are loaded. And here comes Carl Willis. So both pitching
Yeah.
coaches have had to go to the mound in the opening frame here tonight.
Yeah, theirs came after an error. But Carl's just got to go out and try to settle him down. They've been working on it. He's working on it, trying to get the ball down. Now he's going to just remind him and give him a little breather, because you got a tough hitter you got to face here in Sheets. And Sheets got a chance to redeem himself after dropping that ball in the top half of the first.
Yeah, I guess you could say he's got a chance to redeem himself in more ways than one, because in the last 10 games, he's just 4 for 32 with 1 RBI.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
White Sox gifted the Guardians a run in the first. And now a hit, batter, and a walk as Chicago set up to answer. Plesac just needs to make one pitch to get out of the jam.
Yeah, there comes a point in time where you have to make a pitch. Well, this is going to be the batter he has to do it to keep a 0 there. It's amazing that a hitter will come up and swing at that first pitch, isn't it, after he was not even close in the strike zone? I find that they do that more and more nowadays. I would be frustrated if I'm back in my dugout and your guy goes up and just swings. He thinks it's a fastball, he gets a changeup. And to me, it's mind-boggling. Now, next thing you know, you're down 0-2. He may be in that mode where he thinks he needs 3 swings.
Yeah, he swung through the changeup, took a fastball in the outside corner. And now Zach just needs one more good one to get out of here.
Hitters have been known to help pitchers out and get out of a jam, and once you do, it can be a big turnaround for the pitcher.
Oh,
goodness.
Well, an eye for an eye, a gift for a gift, and we're tied at 1.
That's the first wild pitch of the season for Plesac. And look, it was a backhander to Hedgie. He's sitting down and away, and he spikes it down and in. And he couldn't get his body over there being on that knee, so he tried to just slap it out front. Couldn't do it. Gets by him. We have a tie game.
And now runners at second and third. And new life for Gavin Sheets. That's socked to deep right field, and it is gone. I guess you could say he has made amends.
Yeah, he's +2 on the plus minus. He's given up 1. He's driven in 3. And you're going to see another changeup, and it didn't work out. Plesac had a chance to get out of it. The wild pitch, that might have been a slider. I'd have to see that pitch again, but it left in a hurry, and it turned that wind around, and they will take a 4-1 lead. Second homer for Sheets.
Now A.J. Pollock. He swings at the first pitch, tops it to third. Jose Ramirez with a low throw and a nice backhanded pick by Josh Naylor. 4-1 Chicago after 1.
Updates, stats, leaderboards, and more for your Cleveland Guardians.
Bottom third of the order for Cleveland here in inning number 2, and all of a sudden they're down 4-1. It was an ugly first for both pitchers.
Yes,
Kopech was able to limit the damage. Zach Plesac could not.
Well, let's see if it helps Kopech establish his fastball a little more in this inning, because he was breaking ball heavy.
Andres Jimenez, last 16 games, he's piled up 20 hits. 2 balls and a strike. And that's out of play to the left. Two and 2 for Andres Jimenez. He was 2 for 5 against Chicago in that series back in Cleveland. Chop foul.
Key here against this guy of your offense, he has a good fastball, but when he throws it, make him get it down. Take anything that's belled high.
Here is the payoff. There you go. Yeah, that's what they say down at third.
Well, they don't like it over in that Guardians dugout, but that's what I said. It's elevated, and we've seen check swings. You don't have to go very far. I'm sure we'll get a look at it again, but it'll go down as a strikeout. There's the side look. Not even close. Yeah,
call.
It really was. That is a terrible call. That must be the call of the year 22 now that they say, yep, start ringing them up on it.
Almost hit him. I don't know how he got out of the way.
You're going to get hit. That's the one to get hit by.
Yeah, it was a slider. That's why he got underneath it.
You know, we see Rosario in left field tonight and batting in the 7-hole, and Terry Francona had him in his office before the game. He doesn't like doing that. But they had a long talk, and he just said, hey, the young guys are playing well. I can't move them with the way they're playing. And he said before he even finished, Starch, Matt, Rosario said, I get it. I know. He goes, let's go out to left field. I'll do whatever you need.
Bingo.
He goes, I get it. I want those guys to prosper. So I asked Tito, I go, is this a good problem? And he stopped me. He goes, Andre, it's not a problem. This is exactly what we wanted when we put this young unit of guys together.
And you know what? Light a fire under Ahmed. He's a big leaguer. He'll take it as a challenge, and he should.
And as Tito said, he said, and you've told me this, and Matt, we all know this. He goes, I didn't have to tell him. He sees what we see. He knows it better than we do.
Right. Right. It's right in front of you.
Right.
Don't worry. He'll be back.
But it's a positive. Rosario has been good. He was good in the clubhouse today. He gets it. He's pushing the two guys ahead of him to keep doing what they've been doing.
To third, Moncada. 2 down. Well, I'll offer you this. If you want that silver lining.
Yeah.
Last year on this day, Ahmed Rosario was batting 189.
Well, he's higher this year. He's having a better year.
And we all know what happened. So, yeah,
exactly.
It's not like time to panic or anything of that nature. But to Tito's point, look, you've got young guys that are playing well. You take advantage of their confidence and you ride them.
Right. Well, and I'd rather see Ahmed out there getting opportunities to play and get him back on track than Mercado, who would be your other outfielder out there.
Yeah, Matt, I'll say this off of what you're saying with his batting average. I think he's swung better this year than he did last year up until this point. You know, he had a couple balls hard a week and a half ago that were caught in the weather that they played in. I don't think there's people over here that are worried about him hitting.
No, I agree. He'll be fine.
Popped him up.
No.
In foul ground, Moncada puts it away. The Guardians go quickly in the second. 4-1 Chicago.
And voucher plans start with just as few as 20 vouchers. Can be redeemed in quantities of up to 8 just 2 hours before first pitch. Vouchers also carry a discount off box office pricing. If you would like more information, 216-420-HITS or visit CLEGuardians.com.
Reese McGuire leads off for Chicago, bottom of the second. Swings at the first pitch and lifts it to left. And Ahmed Rosario makes the grab, 1 down. Here's our injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Aaron Bummer went to the injured list. Lance Lynn still recovering from arthroscopic knee surgery. Andrew Vaughn with a hand injury, and Eloy Jimenez with that hamstring issue. But as we mentioned, Yohan Moncada activated today along with Joe Kelly. So they are getting some big pieces of the puzzle back in the stable. Lucas Giolito is back.
Yeah, we'll see him tomorrow night.
Yep. AJ Pollock, as you mentioned.
Right.
Swing and a miss by Leori Garcia. Little tapper right back to Plesac, and it goes right through him.
He was getting set to throw the baseball and didn't catch it first. Went for the backhand, and you can see he's talking to himself. He had the play. He saw the ball clearly. But watch when he turned sideways. He just wanted the backhand it, and I think he tried to get it quickly and snag it before he could even catch it. You got to catch it first. I'm sure they'll give him a hit there. But that's a play that you asked Plesac, and he should have made that play.
They will give him an infield single.
Sure they will.
And now Tim Anderson.
That is not a hit, guys. Come
Yeah,
on.
it is.
No, it's not.
At home? Yes,
I don't care where we're playing.
There's a liner caught back to first. And alertly Garcia beats the throw, 2 down.
We're sitting up here right next to the scores. Why don't you come
I
on
know
up?
exactly
I'll
who it is.
let you
I'll
be
tell
the
him.
scorer.
I will tell. I feel like Arch right now. That's not a hit. It's not.
I'd like to hear you get going.
I could go to a Little League game on the way back after this, and they can make that play. And I know Zach would agree with me.
No,
That's not a hit.
It's like fantasy camp. Everything's a hit. If you reach base, it's a hit.
That's Little League rules.
That's okay.
Two down for Yohan Moncada. And a first pitch strike to the outside corner. That's foul. Chicago and Cleveland both came in with a full head of steam, trying to run down Minnesota at the top of the standings. Twins have been playing inspired baseball. They started the day 3 games up on Chicago, 3.5 better than Cleveland. Miles Straw in center field. Makes the catch. The side is retired. And after 2 in Chicago, it's the White Sox 4, the Guardians 1. Our T-Mobile coverage cam. Beautiful night here in Chicago. Wind is still whipping. It's died down maybe a little bit. But really warm temperature, almost 80 degrees at game time.
Yeah, the big difference coming out of the south.
Yeah, the big difference is people aren't wearing coats, including you and me. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I was walking out to get some lunch and I heard some guys talking. Boy, it's too nice. I don't want to go back into the office. I want to go take a walk. Well, go ahead. You don't have to come back.
Yeah, just fire up the Zoom. You're good. Miles Straw grounded to third, first time up. Isn't it funny though, Arch? I mean, 4 years ago, if somebody said Zoom, you'd be like, "What, you mean the TV show like from back in the '70s? What's a Zoom? What are you talking about?"
Oh my goodness, how times have changed in a couple of years, that's for sure. Yeah, this is the first time we've been here since what?
19.
Yeah.
Caught in between. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And you called it. You said it. Look, if it's above the belt, you got to let it go.
You got to take his fastball up because it explodes on you. You got to make sure he can get it down. I mean, it's easier said than done. It's not easy to do when you're a hitter, but you've got to focus down.
There's a good take up high with a breaking ball. 2-2. Miles Straw trying to get the offense jump started, looking for their first hit. They had 2 walks in the first that led to a run. Right back to him. It got through him, but the second baseman Garcia with the off-balance throw able to get enough on it to retire Miles Straw.
Well, there you go. It's right there. I don't know if that's him or the umpire that's going to make the play, but Garcia gets the throw to first. Out number 1.
Stephen Kwan scored the Guardians' only run with his first career stolen base back in the first inning. Got him into scoring position. Came home on the error in right field.
Yeah, that was a shocking one.
Center, Robert. 2 down. Stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. With 2 outs this year, the Guardians have scored the most runs in the American League. They have the best batting average. And of course, as we mentioned, with runners in scoring position, also numero uno.
Yeah, that's you hope that stat stays like that this whole year, even though you know it won't. But boy, it's
well, the big number that you don't know if you can sustain is 43% of your runs.
No, that won't happen with 2 outs. It's tough to get 2 out base hits. To me, when you got guys in scoring position and two, that's the toughest hit to get in baseball. They've been very good at it this year, but you got to ride that wave as long as you can.
Jose Ramirez got a pitch, 96, and he doesn't miss many of those.
No, he does not.
Ramirez came in 10th in the league in batting average, 5th in homers, tied for the league lead with his teammate Andres Jimenez with 2 triples, and far and away the RBI leader with 30. He's always swung the bat well against the White Sox. This one is in the air to shallow left. In comes A.J. Pollock, and he'll make the catch. That's 7 straight sent down by Michael Kopech. 4-1 White Sox. Weak chopper to third. Jose Ramirez, 2 quick outs. Well, I mean, Andre, for years, Tony La Russa teams,
2 for 1.
That's the way it works.
2 for 1, right?
I mean, that's the way they operated.
Yeah. But I will say this. I thought Abreu was awfully professional about it last year. For everything that happened to him, he wasn't, I think his teammates were more upset than he was.
It said more about him than anyone else and how he reacted.
Exactly.
I agree.
He was a pro about it. He didn't charge the mound. He looked out and he said, okay, I get it. I get it. I mean, he was a true pro about it.
Maybe we can get into this later, but I've always felt, and you would know, hitters have a sense when a guy's intentionally throwing at them.
You're right.
And
they do.
Those were, while nobody likes to see it, they weren't. The hitters know if it's intentional, he's going to say something. You're going to get it.
As soon as that ball's let go, you can feel it. Yeah. If it was intended. Yes, I would agree. And hitters, they won't. I mean, if it's from the neck up in this area, the head area, the neck, that's where they get upset.
Yeah.
You can't.
Because that could end your career.
Right.
If it's down waist below and you're trying to do something and it's the game within the game, you can deal with that.
I used to think, though, that speedsters, and you were one at one time, didn't like it hitting the legs. Wouldn't Nolan Ryan go on your legs?
That's all right. But I was too quick to get in.
Yeah,
the real lunch is coming out. Yeah, I was too quick.
He's doing the Niagara Falls shuffle.
Yeah. Well, Jim Palmer always tells me when we go to Baltimore, the fastest white man I ever met, Rick Manning. I tell him, let's see him run now.
No, I'm done. I got the battery-powered legs.
Now he just shuffles fast.
The shuffle's never going away.
Got him looking, and a good inning of work for Zach Plesac as he has now retired 5 White Sox hitters in a row.
Game out of Progressive Field with the district ticket. That's presented by Miller Lite. You'll get a standing room only ticket to the park with your first drink included. Visit CLEGuardians.com. Get your tickets today.
Speaking of Miller, here's Owen leading off the 4th for Cleveland. And he pops the first pitch up. Shallow center. In comes Robert. 1 down. Now Josh Naylor, who walked in the first, and he is the last Guardians hitter to reach base. 8 straight. Retired by Kopech.
One other part of Ahmed Rosario going out to left field is also Josh Naylor. Tito said he wants to keep him at first base. He just feels like it makes them better defensively, and it helps him with that leg and health-wise. And because he's swinging the bat so well, he's like, let's leave him at first base and let him get comfortable there. So that kind of takes in every reason why they wanted to make the move.
I was going to say, he has a tough time running in the outfield with that leg. He sure does.
And once again, like Tito said, if guys start hitting and playing well, we're not going to move them around.
Well, and here's another thing, though, for Josh. When he, slows down a little bit and he's not swinging the bat like he is right now, he'll sit against left-handed pitching.
Right.
You could put Miller over there and then, move other guys around the infield.
But as I said earlier, and Tito kept saying it, he goes, this is what, when we put this all together, back in Arizona, and we did it quickly, he said, we were hoping we were getting to a point where some of these type of things would happen.
Right.
Let the players decide.
Kopech is continuing to ride that pitch up out of the strike zone, and these Guardians hitters, just their aggressive approach tonight, trying to get after that fastball, and it's just borderline enough they can't lay off it.
Well, that one's shoulder high. That's way out of the strike zone there. You're not going to catch up with it. That's nothing but a swing and a miss pitch there.
Now Franmil Reyes. quickly 0-2. Pushed him back. Back to even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The way this game began, it didn't look like Kopech was going to be around long. But he struck out Franmil Reyes looking to end the first, and they haven't been able to sniff him since. 10 in a row retired by the Chicago right-hander with 4 strikeouts. Gavin Sheets in right field dropped a routine fly ball. It led to the Guardians' first and only run of the game. But then in the bottom of the first with 2 outs and 2 strikes, he more than made up with it with a 3-run homer to put the White Sox in front 4-1.
Yeah, it would have been a grand slam, except there was a wild pitch before that last pitch you just saw. And you had mentioned he had been scuffling at the plate. A little slider he hit out of the ballpark and hit it hard. Line drive, got out quickly.
Hit hard, foul.
Oh, get out of the way, Terrell Boston.
You okay, kid?
No, that's the toughest one he's had. He hasn't caught one. He caught one. That's it.
Hope he didn't break his glasses.
Is that what he's waiting for? Oh, they are. Got to get the flip downs.
Yo, Arch.
What?
He's -2, man. It's been a tough night for him.
Yeah, he's had a really tough night.
You didn't say anything earlier, but
no, I let him go. I was letting him slide. It's my first day in Chicago in 3 years. So
you were being unlike yourself. He's -2 right now.
I got you. You know, I was thinking about you. I was going to say something.
Wow.
I said no.
That was close.
That was a pretty good pitch. Second walk issued by Plesac. This looks like it's in the zone.
Well, that's where he hasn't been down there enough tonight to give that umpire a good look. But that was a good pitch. I like it. It wasn't called a strike, but that's where he's got to stay, is low with that fastball.
As you've had that conversation about Plesac, and I know he's been one of those guys that's been worried about velocity. You just said it. He needs to worry more about keeping the ball at the knees with his stuff than the velocity.
Look, Zach's not a guy that's going to throw 95, 96. He's going to throw 92, maybe 93 on a good night. But you got to command the baseball. Keep it down, keep it in and out, on the edges. And it works just fine. Then you mix in your changeup, your little slider where you can get guys to chase it when you're proving you can throw your fastball down in the zone.
One ball, 1 strike for A.J. Pollock, who grounded to third his only time up.
Matt, the numbers may not say it, but it just seems like Zach Plesac has been fighting himself all season long and trying to get where he wants to get. You know what? Like, no start has been perfect for him, or he's felt the way he's wanted to feel.
Wow. He couldn't hit that with a boat oar.
And you hope the frustration doesn't take over, because I know he's just at that point where he's kind of looking in the mirror going, what else can happen to me?
Well, you can't look at it that way. You got to go out and look in the mirror and say, hey, this is how I got to establish to be successful. He knows what it takes. It's a learning process. He cannot live upstairs. And now this is his best pitch, the changeup, one of his best pitches, and they're up out of the strike zone. That shouldn't happen. He's battling himself is what he's doing.
Got him. Held on. Third strikeout for Plesac. One down here in the fourth.
Now you're going to see a good slider. Look where it's located. Right there. Starts at the knees. It dips out of the strike zone. That was a great pitch. And you get the swing and miss.
Now Reese McGuire, he flied to left in the second inning. Runner goes, and they bunted up the third baseline foul. The old bunt and run.
Well, I don't know. He took off.
Think somebody got the wrong sign.
I don't think Tony has a bunt and run on in his game plan. I can believe a hit and run, but not the bunt and run.
That's off the plate. That's one where the third base coach is going to get thrown under the bus. Joe McEwing, there's well, you gave me the bunt sign.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you can't give him the bunt sign with one out, and you know. He took off. That's a hit and run. Maybe the third base coach is going to have to start wearing sign tech. Giving signs to the
He's going to push a button.
Yeah. Hit and run.
Now Reese McGuire 2 for his last 24.
Pitch com. Is that what you're going to say to Joe?
Hit com.
Hit com. I miss talking to
Joe
Joe.
was he was the bench coach for a while.
Yeah.
Then Tony took over and he's back out at third base now.
No, he's cool.
He's made. Yeah, he is. He's a good guy. He's had a few interviews for managers' jobs, and I'm sure he interviewed for the Chicago job.
He's a little bit like Sarby. He knows exactly how to talk to the guys, not get too high, too low, but can get you to smile as well. And when a guy misses a sign, we usually know when we're in Progressive Field because he lets that guy know in his own way.
Yeah. Well, you have to.
But you got to do it at the right time. If he's going up to bat the next time or if he's had a couple balls hit to him, there's a science to it, Arch.
Listen to Andre. He's a psychologist.
Well, that's what these guys are.
Where'd you go to school at? Where'd you get that degree?
Arch. I went to Arch University.
Golden Arches.
So a 6-week period of time. You don't got to go long.
In the air, shallow left. And moving into foul ground is Jose Ramirez. 2 away. Swing and a miss by Leori Garcia. Way out in front of it. Count 0-2. And it's fouled back. Garcia staying alive. White Sox had 2 hits in the first. The only one since was a little comebacker to the mound that got past Plesac by Garcia in the second inning. Fouled away.
That might be the first curveball I've seen from Zach tonight. I could be wrong, but he likes that pitch and he likes to mix it in. But I'll have to go back and look.
On a play to the left, Garcia's putting up a heck of an at-bat here.
Well, he usually does. He's not an easy out. He'll find a way to put the ball in play.
Center going toward Rosario, and Ahmed will make the catch. And the inning is over. So we've played 4 in Chicago, and on the south side, the White Sox lead it 4-1. Guardians Baseball is brought to you by Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept. Well, here in Chicago, the White Sox put up 4 in the first after Cleveland scored first in the top half of inning number 1. Neither team has scored since. Cleveland hasn't had a base runner since the first, and their run scored on an error by the right fielder. A couple of walks is all they have offensively. Andres Jimenez facing Michael Kopech, who has struck out 4. White Sox got a 3-run homer in the first by Gavin Sheets. That's been it. The way this game is played out, you'd almost like to throw the first inning out.
Well, if you do, it's going to be 0-0, and there's not going to be any action.
Yeah.
That's true. Both pitchers allowed things, and the error hurt Chicago.
Jimenez fooled by that pitch, and it's 1-2.
It's funny, but it's kind of how the White Sox season has been played out, gentlemen. They don't score in a many innings, but they kind of get one big inning and kind of ride that out. Has been their MO so far this year.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's not the only team doing that. There's a lot of teams doing that.
No consistency offensively, and I think the weather, as you guys said earlier, plays into that.
Yeah, he went that time.
Got him again. 5 strikeouts for Kopech.
Well, Kopech is a guy he's off to a good start. He doesn't give up many hits. He's been good on his fastball, but when he keeps that ball down, you can see. And then when he gets to 2 strikes, he's not afraid to throw it up around the belt. The slider's been working for him.
What was the stat you guys gave me before the game on his fastball not getting hit out of the ballpark? And
he has, yeah. Well, he hasn't allowed a home run this year, and I think it's a 140 average.
Well, if you keep the fastball above the belt, it's hard to get it knocked out of the park, right?
Well, you swing and miss, but actually, if he can get ahead with it down in the strike zone, you can't hit it and then go up there with 2 strikes. That's just like another pitch. And the farthest he's gone in a game this year, that's what I'm talking about. That low fastball there is tough to get down on. Is 5 innings. He's gone 5 innings. Let me see, 3 times.
3 times, I believe.
And he went 4 last time against the Cubs and 4 in his very first start of the year against Detroit. So you know, he's a 5-inning guy right now because you said they're
being careful,
cautiously keep an eye on him.
And they say he's getting frustrated with it, but Tony is sticking to his guns.
Well, you have to, because you know how players are.
Right.
Tito tells you the same thing. Don't worry, you'll thank them later. It's a long year.
Nice job of hitting by Rosario. Pulled the hands in.
Yeah, he hit the breaking ball. Very nice.
That snaps a string of 11 in a row retired by Kopech.
And watch, this breaking ball stayed middle, and Ahmed did a nice job of just getting to it. Pulled the hands in, hit it to center field, didn't smoke it, but it's a base hit.
Yeah.
First one of the evening. So there you go. See if they can build on that.
Austin Hedges to the plate. You know, the thing about Kopech, he hasn't a lot of home run period this year. And among guys who have the best batting average or the lowest batting average against when they throw their four-seam fastball, he's 5th, but the guys in front of him,
he's got a teammate there.
Dylan Cease is number 1.
Yeah.
It's a hard smash off the chest of the third baseman
hurt.
Moncada, and he throws it away at first. So on his way to third goes Rosario, and now the Guardians have a chance with runners at first and third and 1 out.
This is interesting. That ball was smoked, and I mean, it got Moncada in the chest, and he didn't move after that pitch. So his partner Anderson tried to pick it up and throw it to first base, throws it wild, and it gets past Abreu. I'm going to say this is going to have to be a hit and an error.
That's exactly what the scoring decision is. That's a hit.
Yeah, he smoked it. Now here comes the error, and it's Anderson getting another error because the throw was wild. So now they've got runners at the corners and a chance to cut into this 4-1 lead. There's the wild throw. There goes Rosario. It's too bad it didn't get in the dugout. Then Hedges could have been on second.
Miles Straw 0 for 2. Second error of the night for Chicago. They took advantage of the first one to score a run. They need to get themselves back on the board here.
Arch, I'm all about the team winning, but if that would have got through, that would have hit me. So I'm okay that it stayed as well. I mean, it was coming right from my face.
That would have been an ugly finder.
We might have scored a run.
I'll take the run.
My sound guy out here just heard it. Now he knows how we really talk to each other.
Talk about take one for the team.
I would have sent some ice down to you.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, would have been in his cocktail, but he would have sent some ice down there.
Arch University, baby. 6 weeks to teach you everything. Shaw's had a couple tough at bats. This is a big one for him right here.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch right there, but you've got the 2-0 count. You don't have to swing at his pitch, and he's a guy that never really likes to go out of the zone anyway. He's looking for something he can maybe elevate or shoot the other way. And keeping the fastball down.
Popped him up. And Abreu in foul territory. 2 down. And we'll leave it up to Stephen Kwan to try and come up with the 2 out hit with a runner in scoring position. Hit well, center field, but not deep enough. Luis Robert will make the catch. So an opportunity goes by the board, and the White Sox dodge a bullet here in the 5th.
In the Bally Sports Great Lakes is now open, and you don't want to miss your chance to win the And the raffle will run through the 25th of May. It benefits Cleveland Guardians Charities. Just visit cleguardians.com for more information.
Tim Anderson leads off for the White Sox here in the bottom of the 5th. He's 0 for 2, but man, has he been red hot. Last 8 games, 14 for 33, including 5 multi-hit ball games. Well, he's going to be 0 for 3 to start tonight. And now Yohan Moncada. Anderson already has 11 multi-hit games. And, you know, kind of like what we were talking about with Ahmed Rosario. The good hitters, man, when they get rolling, it's not surprising to see them have multi-hit games bunched together.
Yeah, they get greedy. They get 1, they want 2. They get 2, they want 3.
Well, Matt, the talk around Chicago, because everyone's talking about the ball not going out of the ballpark and the balls. And the one guy they went to is Tim Anderson, who's continuing to hit home runs to right field and get hits. And he said, well, how are you doing this during the bad weather? And he said, because I stay inside the fastball and I don't change my approach no matter who's pitching against me.
Yeah.
And you'd think if a guy's had as much success as he's had early in his career doing that, that more guys would go, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, well, you know, he's got great hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching him taking batting practice today, and I mean, he can flip that ball to right field so easily.
And some of their guys have said it's almost unfair the hands he has.
Yeah,
and sometimes
I mean,
it can
strong
make him
wrists
right.
and those hands are something special.
And they feel like defensively he can get lazy sometimes because those hands are so good and so quick.
Well, the hands on the bat, don't put them in the glove.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Reached out, just tapped it into center field. And Moncada has his first hit of the year. Activated off the injured list before tonight's game. And he's 1 for 2.
Well, he's going to get a changeup away and watch him go out and hook it. That ball, yeah, because of lack of speed, he stayed right there and just got his arms extended and strokes it into right center.
You know who would be interesting to talk to, Andre, is Joe McEwing. Because to your point, you know, Tim Anderson, he has seen the game come full circle. So he's watching Tim Anderson every day, who just stays with his approach. Up the middle, fundamentally sound hitter, which we're seeing some Guardians hitters with that same approach. But when Joe McEwing broke in, his first week in the big leagues, he watched Mark McGwire break the single-season home run record.
That was really?
That was his rookie season. He was in the big leagues about 5 days when McGwire broke Roger Maris's home run record in St. Louis.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
So he was with the Cardinals. So he's seen the game come from that era.
That's right. Tony was there that year.
Yeah,
right.
Where
Tony
people
was.
were bombing home runs out of the ballpark left and right. To now where that's hit well deep to right. Back is Kwan on the track and makes the catch. And there's an example of where that wind probably did knock that down and kept it in the yard.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, today it did.
Definitely wind helped us out right there.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Well, Matt,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Now, to play off of what you're saying, I'll definitely talk to him because I talked to Chris Valleca today about the Guardians approach, and I said, was this by design? And I won't give away the whole interview because we'll see it this week. But he said, absolutely it's by design because we know who we have to be, and we wanted to make that clear from the beginning.
It's been fun to watch. I've enjoyed watching these hitters and their approach. There's a ground ball to third. Jose Ramirez goes the short way. The inning is over. We've played 5 in Chi-Town with the White Sox up 4-1. The hot zones for Jose Ramirez.
Look at those slugging percentages in all those different places. I was lucky enough to have this picture when I was in the clubhouse today, gentlemen, and I was standing close to Jose Ramirez, and I thought to myself, should I show this to him or not? So I showed it to him, and he looked at me with one of those. Go ahead.
I got a question.
Okay.
That 0-0-0, was that left-handed or right-handed?
That's the first thing. He did ask me that. And I said, I believe left-handed because there's a right-handed pitcher going. And I go, is there a lefty you're worried about over there? And he goes, I don't worry.
He doesn't worry.
He doesn't. But then I showed it to him, and he kind of made a face. And then Augie came over because he wanted to make sure I knew exactly what he was going to say. And he shrugged his shoulders, and he goes, look, we all make mistakes, and no one can throw perfectly or swing perfectly. So who cares?
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to do what I got to do. And he goes, if they can throw 4 pitches up there and I don't foul any of them off, I'll walk back to the dugout. He's not concerned about it. And I think most players, when we show these things, they don't get caught up in it the way we do.
You know your strength as a hitter, right? You know what pitches you can hammer.
You should.
And who's going to go up and away and hammer a ball?
Right. Yeah, who thinks you're going to have a nice slugging percentage on a pitch up there?
Well, that's numbers to play with, that's all.
But then he handed it to Rosario, and they laughed. Then Straw came by.
There's a ball to center. Robert drifting back. I mean, if they put a zone up there for every hitter, and you don't, if it's not really red in the middle of the plate, then
right.
we got a problem.
And knowing
Houston,
Jose,
we have.
right. But knowing Jose, the problem I ran into with is that now he wants to know everybody's. He goes, let me see straws. Let me see. I go, I don't have every player. I only got yours. He wanted to
Tell
see
him you got to do some work to get that done.
Right. Well, because he wants to make fun and mess with guys because it doesn't affect him at all.
I mean, we watched him yesterday. That ball, I don't know how if he didn't foul it off, it would have hit him in the leg.
We know this. The rest of the country doesn't know it yet, and I hope they do. There's no one like Jose Ramirez.
There's only one.
Right.
And there will always be just one.
He is a special, special guy in so many different ways. And I think Miles Straw is picking up on it slowly but surely. He's like, the guy's got energy every single day when he comes to the ballpark. And Miles said one day I was talking to him about one of my bats from earlier in the week. He goes, and I figured he had no idea what I was talking about. And he said he knew the whole pitch sequence of Miles at bat.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's how much he's locked in on the game.
He watches the game.
Yes.
The 1-1. By the way, we've been talking a lot about Owen Miller's swing and how he's been driving the ball and hitting for doubles. And you realize he's only 2 runs behind Miles Straw, who's leading the league in runs scored.
Miles got 21 runs scored.
And Owen's got 19.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, wow. I mean, he's been one of the best offensive players. And he got up on that high fastball. Most guys can't do that. But he's done it quietly because in the first week we talked a lot about Clown, rightfully so. Then Jose, went out and kept hitting grand slams and helping Miller score those runs. Yeah. We've talked about all the guys, but we really haven't centered in on Miller.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good thing for him. He's flying under the radar. He looks awfully good in the batter's box. He's got great balance, and he's awfully tough against right-handed pitching. I mean, he hangs in there. He sees the ball very well.
And I know why you're going to say it, because he's willing to pull his hands in and drive it to right center field, right?
He's so different.
Well, when he was grinding away at Illinois State, he didn't see a lot of southpaws.
Illinois State is like 2 hours from here, by the way. So he's got a decent group of people here.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Good for him.
Coolest moment, though, yesterday, his mom was on the field after the game for Mother's Day with his jersey on, and he gave her the home run ball. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. He sees the ball well, and he took that. He spit on that pitch right there, and that was a nasty pitch. Slider down and away.
9 times out of 10, I got to call that a strike.
That's not a strike.
It was off the plate. We didn't see. I know. It was a good pitch.
That's what happens when you're swinging it well. You see that pitch, and you don't swing and get yourself out.
Gets another opportunity here.
God, that was a good take. Get a hit. Now that's the strike.
97 paint. All right, time now to head back to the studio for a Ken Ganley Kia game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. Now, Al, do I have this right? Cortez did such a great job and didn't get the decision, though?
Right. They didn't score till the bottom of the 8th.
That's criminal.
No.
Somebody should be fined.
That's baseball.
You locked Al up.
Well, I mean, come on. You can't pitch that well and not get something for it.
That's baseball.
You got a pat on the back. Way to
Good
go.
job.
Way to hold us in.
Way to keep us in there.
You get to pitch again in 5 days. Good
That's
job.
right. You know, it would have been interesting if he could have got through the 8th inning because he was over 100 pitches. And, you know, I think that decision when you get to if you let him go into the 8th, then he's got a no. You almost have to let him go into the 9th. But he gave up that hit and he took him right out.
Except Dave Roberts got skewered over that decision earlier this year.
That was the first month of the season, though.
Kershaw, you know, that's a little different.
Yeah. It was.
It is. At his age and what he's done in his career, he'll let you know.
Didn't they let Walker Buehler a couple weeks later finish one off?
That's different. He's younger.
See, all these things you got to learn at the University of Arch.
You got to worry about the long haul.
There you go.
Kopech can't. The microphone or the earpiece is not working.
I don't think you worry. Just throw a high fastball.
Yeah, you know what he's doing.
Got to get that bun out of the back. He's having a communications breakdown with the bun.
He said, "Bring it. Bring me the heat."
Throw it up. There you go. Wow, that's a good pitch. Now that was a strike. Yeah,
I think he agrees with you.
He asked and he said no, it was up, and he's right. It was a strike.
Well, he didn't like the call that you liked earlier either. He's been mad this whole inning.
Yeah. Well, this is the longest he's pitched in a game this year, and I'll tell you what, he's making some really good pitches right now. And where's this pitch gone at? About 90 pitches. Don't waste
Take advantage of it now.
Just come right back with that good fastball you just threw.
Take advantage. Let him leave one over the plate.
90 pitches. 55 have been strikes. Josh Naylor walked in the first, struck out in the fourth. The string is out, the payoff pitch. Jensen, it's brought to you by Duncan. Go for a cup of Joe right about now. I'll pick me up here, 6th inning.
Yeah.
Yasmani Grandal walked and scored back in that first. Struck out his last time up. Cleveland scored a run on the top of the first, and the White Sox responded with 4 in the bottom of the first. Nothing since. Chicago has 2 hits since the first inning, and so does Cleveland.
I would have to think Kopech's done now.
Fastball strike. Joe Kelly just activated off the injured list for the White Sox. Former Dodger right-hander is up in the bullpen. And Grandal strikes out. That's number 4 for Plesac. 1 down here in the 6th.
Well, bring the kids to Progressive Field to enjoy a game that connects generations. Kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Visit CLEGuardians.com for more information.
Matt, Rick, for as much as we've talked about Zach Plesac not being comfortable and being where he's at, he's still grinding through when he's gotten into the 6th inning, and that kind of represents who he is, right? He can fight. He's a fighter.
Yes, he is. No doubt.
He doesn't feel perfect, but he's keeping you in the game and staying in there.
He'd love to have 2 pitches back in that first inning.
I was going to say he's going to come back and think about everything that's happened, but he's grinded his way through after they got the 4. He knows he can't allow anything else. So you're right. That's what you do. You fight. If he can give you 6 innings after the first, it would be great.
I think that's in talking to pitchers and being around him. I know, like Bieber, he's frustrated over his last start, and they're not like hitters that they get to go up, and have another at bat tomorrow or have 4 at bats. They sit on the bad starts. They sit on the bad pitches. And as Zach told me a couple days ago, I can throw 90 great pitches, but if I throw 4 bad ones, that's the only 4 I remember for 5-6 days.
Well, that's true, and that's the one thing that starting pitching does. When you're pitching well, they love it,
right?
Because you get to enjoy it for 4 days. You don't have to think about anything. When you have a clunker, that's all you think about, and it gets into your mind.
And a guy like Zach, who's so athletic and played every sport that he could play, those 4 days in between are hard for him even when he's going well, because he likes to be active and wants to play. So when it's not going well, it's a tough 4 days.
Well, you got to realize as a pitcher, if you make one mistake, it could cost you a game.
Yeah.
And it's plain and simple, so you cannot make mistakes.
Well, this guy was at the plate in the first inning, and the bases are loaded, but he gets ahead of him 0-2, and then on back-to-back pitches, a wild pitch, and then he hangs a slider, and just in the span of 2 pitches, you're down 4-1. That's gonna maybe get down. No, but Juan able to run it down.
We always talk about putting guys away and how you go about putting guys away.
Well, this was back in the first inning. This was after the wild pitch.
Yeah, that was a slider down in his wheelhouse. He went down there again and he hit it out to right field. Stop.
But then after that, he really settled in. He's given up just 2 hits, and one was a little comebacker that got by him that they gave a Garcia a hit on.
Yeah, that's true.
He's really been in command ever since.
But I've watched, there's been a couple times he'll throw 4-5 down where he wants it, and then he gets underneath another one. You can just tell the consistency of doing what he's trying to do on his legs is still not all the way there just yet.
He'll figure something out in between starts. It's a constant grind.
Zach has hit 90 pitches, 61 of those is for strikes. Little comebacker and the flip to first. They go in order. And we've played 6 in Chicago. The score remains 4-1 White Sox. Brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling family of SUVs in the Cleveland area. And by Spectrum Mobile. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile, nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com. 7th inning here in Chicago. And Joe Kelly will make his debut with the White Sox, coming off the injured list today. Last year with the Dodgers, 2.86 ERA in 48 games. Kelly broke in with the Cardinals. He's also pitched for the Red Sox.
Yeah, 2 guys making their debut today, Moncada and now Kelly.
Fred Reyes will lead it off. He is 0 for 2.
Kelly, a guy that could get it up there as well into the mid-90s. Good velocity and a slider, which you see on the very first pitch.
Well, I mean, this is the game within the game right here. We talked at the top of the telecast coming in. Cleveland, in their recent tear, they won 7 out of 9. In those 9 games, it's the late inning offense. They have outscored their opponents from the 7th inning on 17-9. However, they're up against a White Sox bullpen that during their 6-game win streak has yielded an earned run average of 0.81.
Yeah. Well, now's a tough time to score.
On the outside corner. A bullpen that's yielded an ERA of 0.81 and just added Joe Kelly to the mix.
Right. He thought he had one. This is your first game. You don't know the strike zone yet. He thought he hit the inside corner. And it looked like he tried to quick pitch him in a way. No, that's in off the plate.
Bullet by him at 98, bottom of the strike zone. 1 down. And up comes Andres Jimenez. Been a tough day for the 6 and 7 hitters. Franmil Reyes 0 for 3 has struck out 3 times. Jimenez 0 for 2 has struck out twice. Center field, Robert. And there are 2 down. Tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 for Guardians Live pregame, presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Alan Jensen will preview the ball game, get you ready for first pitch. Lucas Giolito will go for the White Sox. Another guy that's recently returned from the injured list. And Cal Quantrill will go for Cleveland. Should be a great matchup. .99 on the inside corner, and it's strike 1 to Ahmed Rosario, who singled in the 5th inning. Joe Kelly, his first outing in a White Sox uniform so far, has been really impressive. He struck out Reyes. Jimenez flied out. He's 0-2 to Rosario. And Hard hit ground ball up the middle, and it gets by Tim Anderson. So Ahmed Rosario with a 2-hit night.
Comes back, hit that ball well. I want to see if he tried to rush this pitch. He's been changing his delivery. Look at a little double leg kick there, and guess what? That slider stayed up middle of the plate, and he got enough of it to get it past Anderson.
You would think
Ahmed 2 for 3.
Yeah, you would think throwing 100 miles an hour, you wouldn't need to do all that.
I know.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
But I'll say this. The White Sox may have, in signing Kelly, they had the two-headed monster with the closers last year when they made the move, and then they traded. I'm losing the name.
Craig Kimbrell.
Yes, they traded him to L.A. So now they still kind of have that with two guys that you can have at the back of your bullpen that throw almost 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And they picked up a left fielder in the process.
Well, if he stays healthy, he should certainly help him. He has a good arm.
Seems like he's played all over, Arch. Like he's been in Boston, St. Louis, the Dodgers.
When you're making the kind of money he's making, you better be an 8th or a 9th inning guy. Or, he played with the Dodgers last, and he was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Austin Hedges backs out of the way. But 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not as you were saying. His stuff, though, is top notch when he's right.
Oh, yeah.
Ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get almost through. And it doesn't matter because everybody's safe. Tim Anderson, I don't know how he got to that ball. It looked like it was by him, but he stopped it. Could not execute the flip, and there are 2 on with 2 out on back-to-back singles.
So, Matt, does he get an error for being? He shouldn't. I agree.
No, that's a hit. That's a hit for Hedges. He wasn't going to get him at second base. Ahmed hustled.
And he couldn't.
He got into second base. He would have been safe even if it was a perfect throw. So, no, that's a hit all the way.
You've made me not trust these guys that do the scoring.
Well,
that's why I asked.
They better not put an error because I'll beat on his window and tell him. I'm closer than you are.
Yeah, you get him. I wanted you to say that like 3 innings ago.
We're going to have an interstate incident.
No, that was good hustle on Ahmed's part to get hustled on to second base.
All right, Miles Straw. We talked about it last time he had an opportunity.
Well, that's good now. They've got the tying run coming to the plate. You need a couple. You get more than 2 singles, man, with 2 outs. You got to score. This is going to be a tough way to go.
Starts him off with a breaking ball and misses down low.
Well, Miles is one of those guys. He rarely swings at a first pitch, and he's not going to swing at a breaking ball on the first pitch. He's going to make you work to get him out. That's just his philosophy when it comes to hitting. He's a guy that sees a lot of pitches. Comes back with another breaking ball, and he doesn't like it because he feels it might be a little low right there, but it's not a good pitch to swing at.
Outfield shading Miles toward right field. And that backed up on him and missed inside. Not by much, but it did miss. And it's 2-1. You see the center fielder Robert shading him over toward right. Engel in right field. Played it fairly deep.
I'd like to see a nice little fastball away where he could just shoot it into right center.
And Kelly cuts it off, takes it himself. No runs, 2 hits, 2 stranded. Stretch time in Chicago. It remains 4-1 White Sox. And bottom of the 7th inning, Zach Plesac still out there chucking for Cleveland. He's got the bottom of the order. Reese McGuire, Leury Garcia, and then Tim Anderson do 3rd.
He's battled his way through this ball game, hasn't he? He's done it very well. You mentioned just 2 hits. It should only be 1 hit.
Well, the shame of it is,
first inning.
If this team that's been so good at getting those clutch hits could have just had a couple and maybe make this a 1-run game at this point.
Well, it'd be nice, yes. But, you know, you eliminate the outs. He's got to put another 0 on that board now and give him a chance. It's all been action in the first inning. That's it. All the offense and lack of defense.
Reese McGuire 0 for 2 is fly to left, fouled out to third.
There you go.
And a routine bouncer. Andres Jimenez takes care of that one away. Both bullpens are busy. Angel De Los Santos is up for Cleveland. He was just added to the ball club when they sent Connor Pilkington back. Pilkington did a nice job yesterday. Garcia taking low ball on. That's Owen Miller, and that's going to be an error.
Yeah, it looked like that ball got deep in on him. He didn't get it out in front. He was trying to get the footwork over to get in front of it. Yeah, just never caught it cleanly. So it'll go as an error. You get a base runner, and now you're flipping it over to the top part of the lineup. Now Zach's got to battle his way.
Tim Anderson to the plate. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike. Quick throw over, but back with a dive, Garcia.
Now they may figure this is a pretty good action count here. 3-run lead. You got a 2-1 count and a guy that likes to swing the bat and take it the other way. They may want to start the runner. Let's see what happens. Anderson can hit anything.
Tim.
Pitch number 99 of the night for Plesac. Not going. And a drive to deep center. It's over the head of Miles Straw. Garcia with a great read. They're going to wave him home. He's going to score, and it's 5-1 Chicago. Tim Anderson with RBI number 10. It's his 6th double of the year. And that's the end of the line for Zach Plesac.
Yeah, you're going to see this pitch here. It's a slider, and it stayed middle of the plate, and I think he was sitting on that. He had the big hack on that breaking ball earlier in the at-bat. He drives this one over the head. Straw played it as well as you can play it. But with Garcia off and running, knowing that ball was going to be over the head, no problem for him to score, and that error ended up costing Plesac, and he couldn't get out of that inning.
So we're going to take a timeout. It's now Chicago 5, Cleveland 1. Is Angel de los Santos. He's on to face Yohan Moncada. With a runner at second and one out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Appearing for the 7th time. He has walked 5, struck out 9 in his 5 2/3 innings. Moncada is 1 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, got a single in his last at-bat. So they're going to try and get out of here, keep it at a 5-1 ball game. First time anybody's been on the board since the first inning, and that came via the error. Certainly put the base run around before Anderson's double.
And a fastball strike to Moncada. Fastball down low. Moncada in his return to action. First game of the year, hit by a pitch in his first at bat, came around to score the tying run on a wild pitch in the first inning. Singled his last time up. And the 1-2 from De Los Santos is fouled off by Moncada.
De Los Santos was up and down, as you just talked about, Matt. And Tito was asked before the game, what are they working on with him? Because when he was in Pittsburgh, everything was down. So they're trying to get him to throw more pitches up so that slider down plays better. Arch, can you help us figure out why that would work better for him? That was a great pitch right there.
Blew that by him at 96.
Well, sometimes it's awfully hard to try and teach pitchers to pitch up. You're programmed to, all right, keep the ball down, keep the ball down. There's a low tracer right there, a 4-seam fastball. He challenged him. It was down the middle, and Moncada came up empty.
It's the opposite of the conversation we're having with Plesac, though. They're telling this guy, you can play up in the zone. You've got stuff that will work higher in the zone. Where with Zach, they're saying you got to keep your stuff, lower.
Yeah, well, De Los Santos should throw at 95. And there's a difference. It's for guys that have pitched and they're told to pitch down in the zone to try and pitch up. If you don't get it up and above the zone, you're going to get hurt with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're trying to work with it. I haven't had a chance to talk to Carl about it.
Carl thinks he can be a weapon for them.
Well,
with
I
that
don't
pitch
disagree.
Right, with
that's
that right
96.
there. Yes. Carl thinks if they get him right and able to do what they want to do up in the zone and then still with that slider down, they just think that he could be a guy in the 6th, 7th inning that can help them. And as Brian Shaw said to me, now that they got 13 guys in the bullpen, it changes the game. You got to be ready. He's told all those guys, we could be right. We got to be used at any and every time. Get your arms taken care of.
Brady, you got a piece of that 97 to stay alive.
Well, the thing of it is, Brian Shaw can tell them that, but their arms have to respond, and they have to be ready to come back and be consistent doing that every night.
Well, what's that like when you got a guy with a rubber arm that's telling you, hey, if I could do it, you could do it?
Well, he's been blessed, but
yeah,
that's what you have to do. Yeah, you have to be ready. You have to execute your pitches when you're coming in facing the best.
Yeah,
Just got a piece, just barely. Oh, he did something to his wrist there. Maybe trying to pull the hands in. It was a slider.
Matt, it was one of your favorite sliders. It backed up on him.
Yeah.
And almost worked.
Almost.
Thanks.
Yeah, but these guys, the good ones, they find a way, don't they?
I was
just
going to
do.
say, that's the one you don't need an almost. You need a swing and a miss with this guy. Oh, that got it. That's a
I think it missed him.
It did?
Did it?
And went to the backstop, and so down to third base.
Yes, it
goes
did.
Is he
Anderson.
Houdini? How'd he get?
I don't know. It looked like it hit him to me. But he scooted out of the way. It was again, it was a slider that it backed up. It didn't have any break to it. He lost this one. I thought it got him in the arm, but it didn't. He got it out of the way, and Hedges couldn't even catch it.
Hedges might have also been blocked out of the way of that.
Right,
You know,
he was,
couldn't see it.
absolutely.
Now it's a 2-2 count. And he struck him out with 97 off the plate. Couple of Ks for Dos Santos. And after 7, it's now 5-1 Chicago. Authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians. We move on to the 8th inning, and it's a 5-1 White Sox lead. Matt Foster, right-hander, coming on for Chicago. And for Cleveland, it'll be Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, and Owen Miller coming up. Foster's 14th appearance on the year.
Yeah, he's been very good, limiting opponents to just a 152 average this year. Allowed just 1 run over his last 16 outings dating back to last year.
Before the game, Tony La Russa said this is the guy that's been their best guy in the bullpen and the biggest surprise. Slider's been great. Fastball's been up. They love what he's been able to bring to this bullpen. Almost been a surprise, he says, in their mind.
Well, when you get a surprise out there, when you already have some veterans that you can count on, that's always welcome. Well, he had a good arm, and we've seen him a number of times.
Yeah.
But we've seen him when he can be erratic, but he seems like he's dialed it in now and has been.
And there's a line drive single to center field by Stephen Kwan. Now we'll see if the Guardians can finally get on the board. They have not scored since the first. They've had opportunities a couple of times.
That's a slider he leaves upstairs.
You know, you never know when that moment comes in a guy's career that is that proverbial light switch going on, right?
Right.
And Foster was pretty good in 19 or 20 rather, kind of shaky at times last year, but there was a moment last season where Tony La Russa said this guy can win with. Came against the Angels, and he came into the game. He came into a bases loaded situation, and he punched out Ohtani and Trout back to back.
Wow.
Then they dropped a fly ball, and he comes back and strikes out the next guy to end the inning. And La Russa said, "That's it. This guy." He goes, he showed a lot of guts, and he said, you know, he could have crumbled.
Right.
And he didn't. Popped up.
Defining moment. He's probably taken off since that point.
You know, like we always talk about, you never know who's watching. That's a situation where you don't realize it as a player. When you're in the moment, you're just, you know, you're just trying to survive.
Battling.
You don't realize that that's a defining moment maybe in your career. Well, Owen Miller to the plate is 0 for 3 tonight. Well, it's not over, but so often the case in sports, you know, when you've got the matchup of great defense versus great offense, usually you give the edge to the defense.
Yeah.
You know, good pitching usually beats in the playoffs. What do you always say? Good pitching will usually neutralize a really good offense.
It should.
And the White Sox came in on a roll pitching. Cleveland came in on a roll offensively. And there hasn't been a lot to write home about as far as this game is concerned.
And Matt, if I would have told you that would have been the scenario coming into the season, you would have laughed. You would have thought it was the opposite, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes no sense, but here we are.
Well, I'll say this. When these two teams play, they're normally close. This is sort of a blowout for these two teams. But you never know. They could make a mistake and make another error that we've seen them do all year and open up a door for you.
Miller down on strikes. 2 away.
That slider. Now, see, he gave up a hit on one, but that one must be better than what, because we haven't seen Owen swing out of the strike zone all season. But that was what La Russa said before the game. He can throw a slider in the strike zone, and he can throw one that leaves the strike zone.
Well, that may be the one that he threw to Kwan his first, and it was a left-hander, and you got Miller the right-hander, and he was able to make that pitch.
Josh Naylor 0 for 2. White Sox have 3 on the right side for Naylor on the infield. And he missed outside with a fastball. 2-0.
Matt, it's a little bit like the team we just played this past weekend, though. And Tito kind of looked at both of them the same. He feels like the Blue Jays we know are going to hit. He feels like the White Sox are going to hit. But he said with both of them, if they continue pitching, well, not the White Sox as much, but playing defense like the Blue Jays have, they're going to be 2 of the last teams standing in the American League. And he's told his team, this is who we have to compete against and who we have to stay with as we go along. He had a long talk with his team when they were in Oakland before that Oakland series about the game of baseball. You're going to get your face rubbed in it a little bit. He said, I believe in you guys, but you're going to have to bounce back because this isn't going to get any easier.
Yeah. And
they've responded pretty well. But as he told them, just because you had a good week at home, that does not mean it's just going to be an easy road trip.
It's never easy.
Naylor fouls one off to the left. And the 2-2 missed inside, full count. So Stephen Kwan will be off and running at first base on the 3-2 pitch to Naylor. And if he reaches, you've got Franmil Reyes coming up next. Kwan, and Naylor shoots it to left field. That's going to get down. Kwan's racing into third, and Sarbaugh will wave him home. A run is on the board here for Cleveland, and into second base with a 2-out RBI double is Josh Naylor.
No, you couldn't have placed that any better down the line. They were playing him over in left center field. He slices it down the left field line. Kwan with 2 outs, off and running. He scores easily. Mike Sarbaugh just waited to see what Pollock was going to do with that baseball. By the time he got there, he said, let's go. You're going to score. You're going to score easy. Naylor gets into second base. His first hit of the day, his 4th double, and his 14th RBI. Make it a 5-2 game.
And Ethan Katz, the pitching coach, the slow walk out to the center of the diamond. Liam Hendricks, the White Sox closer, now just beginning to loosen up in the Chicago pen. Still only the 8th inning.
Funny thing, Foster was the hottest reliever coming in. Franmil was one of the hottest hitters coming in for the Guardians. And he's had a tough day today.
Boy, confluence of events. Here we go.
Yeah.
Chance to make this interesting still. 5-2, but boy, Franmil, he gets into one. And then all of a sudden it could be maybe a one-run game.
Well, yeah, if he hits one out, I'd just like to see a base hit
Hey,
to keep it rolling.
That was the rule. I don't know if, Matt, you heard me tell Arch earlier. Chris Valleca said we worked on don't worry about home runs.
Right.
Just hit the ball.
Yeah.
Line drives.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if it's right, center, or left. Just hit a liner.
I was just going to tell you, the wind may have shifted. I don't know what you guys feel up there, but it feels like it's growing out the left big time right now.
Started him off with a slider for strike one. Franmil came in with a 6-game hitting streak. And that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's going to go foul up the third base side. And now the 1-2. Held up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
First one we haven't seen called today. And he did not go.
It's not even close, but now the way the umpires have been ringing people up, they got everybody jumpy now.
Yeah, they did. Well, the fans here, they wanted it. They're dressed in black. They look like it up, so they were ringing them up.
2-2.
Good take.
Just off the plate, full count.
Good take. You know, it was a good slider. It was off the plate, and he didn't offer. Beautiful. There you go. Now, can you do that on a 3-2 count? Just like you did on a 2-2 if he throws you that same pitch.
Struck him out. Guardians get 1 run closer, but they still trail it 5-2, middle of the 8th. First, 2 outs, inning over. Oh, whoops. Gavin Sheets drops one, and the Guardians score first. Then on the bottom of the first, again with 2 outs and 2 men on base, Sheets makes up for it with a 3-run homer. And that was following a wild pitch that occurred with the bases loaded. So on back-to-back pitches, it went from 1-0 Cleveland to 4-1 Chicago. It's now 5-2 White Sox. Bottom of the 8th, and Anthony Gose, the new pitcher, 3rd of the night for Cleveland. Play right side.
Trying to think of looking at Luis Robert, how he opens up now. If he was that far open last year, he does close that front foot, but he looks a little more open to me.
$100-mile-an-hour fastball, but a little low, and it's 3-1. That's ball 4, and the White Sox get their leadoff man aboard. Ghost has pitched well. You saw the numbers, and the numbers don't look great because he's had one bad outing, and that came in Oakland,
right,
where he walked 2 and gave up 2 hits, 3 runs scored in just 1/3 of an inning. Prior to that, in his first 6 games, his ERA was 1.50, and that's what caused his ERA to jump all the way up over 4. That one bad outing.
So that's all it takes for a reliever early in the year. Give up 3 in less than an inning. It'll hurt you.
But he bounced right back after that. His last 2 outings,
He's going to
2
be
scoreless.
a big part of this bullpen. They're hoping. With an arm like that, you can get into the high 90s, even reach 100, and it all comes down to throwing strikes for him.
Yasmani Grandal walked, and the first struck out his last 2 times up. He is 0 for 13 against Cleveland pitching on the year.
That's pretty much who he is, though, Matt, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say the third thing he does.
He hits homers,
The old
strikes
3,
out, and he walks.
the old 3 true outcome guy.
He is it. He is the picture of it.
And that walk in the first gives him a walk in 8 of the last 9 games. Blew that right by him. 99 miles an hour. 1 down here in the 8th.
Okay, so a walk and 3 strikeouts, son. He's on cue. Just gets a fastball, and there he is. Swings through it. First out of the 8th.
Adam Engel gets his first at bat. Came on defensively for Gavin Sheets. And back out of play. Somebody forgot to tell Cincinnati they're not supposed to beat up on the first place team like that.
Yeah.
They clobbered the Brewers 10-5. They beat Brandon Woodruff. Milwaukee was 19-10. Cincinnati was 5-23 going into that game.
Yeah, and they had one of their boys start tonight for them. Pitch.
Oh, for Cincinnati?
Yeah. Luis Castillo made the start for them.
Yeah, they hit 3 home runs, had 5-run, I believe it was 5-run 5th inning. Been a rough start to the season for the Reds. Two-one pitch. Engel sends a high fly ball to left, and Ahmed Rosario will drop the ball.
Oh my goodness!
Incredible.
This is the second time we have seen this tonight. Routine plays, unbelievable.
Yeah, there's nothing you can say. He just.
No, I'm not going to. There's nothing I can't say.
Well, I'll tell you what Tito told his pitchers. He said if Ahmed makes a mistake, it's on me. So it's on Tito.
No, it's not. It's on him. He's got the glove.
I'm telling you what the manager said. I
know what he said.
And look, that's why he's making. You know him. They came out early with them, but when you haven't played that position.
It's a routine fly ball.
Yeah.
I could catch that with no gloves.
98-mile-an-hour fastball, and A.J. Pollock takes that for a strike. Well, you know, both plays were by guys who don't play a lot of outfield.
Right.
You know,
That's
Sheets
true.
and Rosario.
You just got to hope that Ghost comes down and picks up his defense right here. See if he can get a ground ball and a double play, and all will be forgotten.
Someone asked Tito before the game, you know, do you think this is the right place to do this with him, with the wind and everything else? And Tito kind of said, there's no perfect place, right? Said it was windy in Cleveland this past couple of days. It's cold, you know, it could be windy in Minnesota.
Right.
Every field has its, you know, things that you have to overcome, no matter what position you're playing.
Playing conditions, it's the same for everybody. Whoa.
Getting went to the backstop, and
now there goes the double play out of there. That one really got away.
Wild pitch puts him at second and third. A.J. Pollock right now is saying, thank goodness I'm not a left-handed hitter. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. I mean, the last one would have hit the mascot, and that one was right down Michigan Avenue. That makes it a little tough to dig in there.
Call that an uncomfortable at bat. You see one of those go around?
Yeah. Reese McGuire is a left-handed hitter waiting on deck saying, hey, Tony, what do you think? Maybe a pinch hitter here? High drive, left field, Rosario back on the track, and it is gone. That was a fastball, but Pollock was looking for it. He got the head out quick, barreled it up, and the White Sox just put the lights out.
Second three-run homer for the White Sox tonight, and you're right. They just put this one on ice. That's the first home run for Pollock on the year.
Now Reese McGuire. To McGuire. And a little bit of a struggle for Anthony Ghost, though. Hey, that fly ball that was dropped in the outfield didn't help. So the count 2-1. Now Chicago has told Liam Hendricks to have a seat. They've got a left-hander getting loose. Anthony Gose with a 2-2, and that ball is slammed to center. Milestraw with a good running catch. 2 down. And Leury Garcia. Garcia brought a 5-game hitting streak into tonight's action with that infield hit that he was credited with back in the 2nd inning. He is now 8 for his last 22. Hedges goes out. .96 in for a strike, 2-1. Yeah, that hit off of his leg and then carried him out toward Gose. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down here in the 8th, and the White Sox pulling away here in the last couple innings. Big blow here in the 8th, 3-run homer by A.J. Pollock, who was just 5 for his last 47 before that home run. That count is full, and a long inning for Gose.
Yeah, he's you know, right, 28 pitches, 14 balls, 14 strikes. He is all over.
Back out of play. Center field, Straw. And we head to the 9th. But it's now 8-2 Chicago. Alan Jensen, presented by Toyota. Highlights analysis, we'll break it all down coming up after this one concludes. And the new pitcher for Chicago is the left-hander, Tanner Banks.
Banks for the 9th time has pitched 14 innings. Well, after they put 3 on the board, they could sit their closer down and bring in Banks.
7, 8, 9 due up for Cleveland. Andres Jimenez leads off. He is 0 for 3. And Jimenez with a high fly ball deep left center field, and it's gone. A home run.
That ball had some carry to it.
Home run number 3 on the year for Jimenez.
Holy smokes.
The ball just kept going.
Well, Andre said that wind changed down on the field. It seemed like it was blowing out to left, and it certainly was. I know he might have hit it pretty well, but I didn't think he hit it that well.
Good sign, though. Left on left. Stayed on it.
Look
hit
at
it
that.
the other way
yeah,
hard.
He sure did. And that just think, I don't know if he thought he hit it that good. But watching the outfielders, as Pollock goes back, that thing gets over into the first row. So
kind of told me something. Roberts' angle wasn't deep. He cut more across. And then that ball just sailed out of there. Rosario clubs one in the left field. So he's got a 3-hit night. And they throw it away. And Ahmed's just going to keep on going. He'll go to second and he's going to go to third. And the throw is not in time. So a 2-base throwing error.
Oh, boy. It's going to be a capper on the night for the Sox defense. It's their 3rd error. Ahmed went down and hit the ball well to left field. His 3rd hit of the night, 3rd consecutive hit. As he's turning it, here comes a throw from Pollock.
Oh, Tim Anderson.
Off his glove. So that's got to be on him then, right? It's got to be. That wasn't, I mean, that was catchable, I thought. And then he just kept going because by the time that Abreu could get there.
The White Sox may win this game, but Tony La Russa may have them go do defense. Like, why are they playing defense so bad against us?
Second error of the game on Tim Anderson for the 2nd time this year.
It should be.
And this one's kicked around.
Oh my goodness.
Moncada can't make the play. Another run has scored, and there's still nobody out.
This against for whatever reason that we have seen. That is 4 errors.
It's now 8-4.
What do they have? 10 errors against us.
Yeah.
26 on the year. And this is our 4th game. Moncada, his first game, he comes in and I don't know. I can't explain it.
And the official score is going to claim mercy. And he's going to give Hedges a base hit and not charge Moncada with an error.
Oh, my.
I'll tell you what, that's
go knock on the door, Arch. Come on.
No, you know what? I'm done with them. Forget it.
Tell them, Arch. We're done.
Done with you.
That's an error. I'm sorry.
This is the big leagues. You got to make plays. I think they turn the lights out in the booth. They won't let me.
Well,
I can't see.
I'll tell you where they turn the lights back on is in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Liam Hendricks is now getting
right?
loose again.
Boy, that didn't take long, did it?
Well, and they just changed the scoring decision to an error.
Thank you.
Jeez.
I think they're going to cut up these.
We're going to put you on the same line.
Salty. You guys are salty.
They're going to cut up these uniforms, never wear them again, since they look like pajamas anyway.
All right, here we go.
Wow, that's 2 more errors. Holy smokes.
And Miles Straw to the plate. Fouls it off. Miles gets aboard. All of a sudden, the screws start to tighten. Hendricks, it won't take him long to get ready since he was up before.
He was up in the bottom of the inning.
So if Straw gets aboard, Hendricks is going to be in the game. And in fact, Rick, now that he's gotten him up twice, he may bring him in anyway.
Yeah, that could be true.
Some managers feel like,
yeah, once you heat him up, let's go. I got to bring him in.
Out of play. Oh, what a play! That fan reached over the railing and made a sensational grab.
What they used to say in Baltimore, give that fan a contract. He could play out there for the Sox.
Well, on a night like this, they're not kidding either. Pick your spot defensively.
Yeah, where do you want to play tonight?
The home plate
umpire. Well, the home plate umpire did. He didn't even ask for help. I want to see this one. He said he went.
That'll be the first out of the inning.
Let's check it out. Yes, he did. He was right.
And with one down, Stephen Kwan to the plate. Took a fastball for a strike. Squib towards third. Moncada goes to second. There's one. And there are two down in the ninth. Kwan safe on the fielder's choice, and Jose Ramirez will try to keep it alive for Cleveland now. Ball one to Ramirez. Tanner Banks was an 18th round pick 8 years ago by Chicago, and he went to spring training as a non-roster invite. He's had a nice year working out of the bullpen. He had a 13 2/3 innings scoreless streak to begin his career. That came to an end last week. Fastball in off the plate. It's 3-0, and Owen Miller waits on deck. That would get the tying run to the on-deck circle.
Well, you got to go at Ramirez here, huh? The more you walk, you can't. You got to go at him. Got a 4-run lead.
Back out of play and a full count. Hard to strike him out. Might be harder to walk him.
Yeah.
And this crowd here on the south side of Chicago up on their feet. Ball four. And it's not over yet. So Owen Miller will bat, and Tony La Russa is going to go to his closer.
How about that? You had your closer ready to go. They score 3, sit him down, bring a guy in to get some work, and he can't close it out. Not all his fault. Defense was terrible.
So there's still hope. Owen Miller will be facing Liam Hendriks when we come back. All right, Owen Miller's coming up. Yesterday, Cleveland was down a run, and Owen Miller tied the game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Was his 3rd home run of the season. He went down and blasted one to the bleachers.
Yeah, he sure did. That tied it up. They were able to add another.
Right now, he just wants to extend the game because if he can get aboard Josh Naylor's the tying run, he's in the on-deck circle. Liam Hendriks now in a save situation, looking for his 10th of the year. This one was in the bag. The White Sox have allowed Cleveland an opportunity to stay alive. And Hendriks with a fastball strike to Owen Miller. Wow, 99, and he has peppered 2 fastballs in there quickly. Again, they're on their feet. And that one gets away, but the runners will hold. The 1-2 pitch is bounced out in front of the plate. Another good block by McGuire. And so now it's even at 2-2. He just reared back and fired 2 fastballs to get ahead of him.
Right.
And he tries to off-speed pitch, but miss with both of them.
I mean, when you can throw 99 outside edge, there's nothing wrong with throwing 3 in a row.
Line drive, left field, base hit. Tying run coming to the plate. And they are loaded up with 2 down in the 9th.
Well, he came back with a fastball. This had middle of the plate, and Owen was ready. You're going to see it right down. That had a really good portion. That ball leaked up, and it was coming belt high, middle to middle in, and he turned on it. So base hit, it's still rolling, and they have the tying run coming to the dish. How about that?
And Josh Naylor, who had an RBI double his last time up.
These people here have gotten a little quieter, haven't they?
They're like, we've been on our feet for, come on, let's go. Cleveland doesn't want this one to end just yet.
Oh.
Naylor with a high drive. It is deep. It is gone. A grand slam for Josh Naylor. He jumps Liam Hendriks, and we're tied at 8 in the 9th.
How about this? That's the 5th grand slam for the Guardians this year. Unbelievable.
And the sloppy defense of Chicago proves costly here in the 9th. Wow.
Just amazing.
Wow, I'm here to tell you. Look at Josh Naylor. Absolutely exploding in that dugout.
And he didn't give him and spot him anything. How about a 6 spot on the board?
The 9th man to bat in the inning is Franmil Reyes. Rick, wasn't it just a couple of days ago that the Mets had a 6-run ninth inning?
They had a 7-run
7?
ninth
Okay,
inning.
yeah.
Yes, they did. And I mean, he didn't spot him. Naylor just juiced it. And hey, I was looking at the fielders and I looked at the crowd. He flipped that bat away, and my goodness.
To third, Moncada. Throws him out. And we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It's a brand new ball game. Nails. Well, Josh Naylor, I tell you what, he got the big blow, right? The grand slam that ties the game. But there, I mean, that inning, it starts with an opposite field home run by Andres Jimenez. Ahmed Rosario then gets his third straight hit in the game, and they just kept the pressure on. And then, you know, a couple of shoddy defensive plays once again by the White Sox. And in the end, it's a 6-run ninth to tie the game at 8.
This is a shocker.
And now Nick Sandlin has the top of the order to try to send this to extra innings. Tim Anderson, who again tonight has committed 2 errors. Will lead it off. And a fastball strike. And he waves at that off-speed pitch. Fights it off the other way. And racing in to make the grab, Stephen Kwan. 1 down. Now Yohan Moncada, who has 1 hit tonight in his return to the lineup. You know, the crowd, I don't even know if they know what to make of this.
No, I mean, they were in shock.
They were ready to leave to celebrate a win.
And they had to stand for quite a while. And now, you know, that's the one thing about it at home, though. When you do something like that, you still get your last at-bat.
It is shock down here. They can't make noise because they can't believe what just happened.
This is something that you rarely see in a baseball game throughout the course of a year.
And of course, as it is in Chicago, there were a couple of people that have been chirping at Naylor all game long behind the bench.
Perfect.
Security guards have had to shut him down, and Naylor made sure he let them know, thanks for coming.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, right now, this is not the way you want to start the bottom of the ninth, though.
No.
Nick Sandlin, you got that first out, but you got Yohan Moncada here, 3-0. And he just walked him on 4 pitches. So now the winning run is aboard with 1 out, and Jose Abreu's coming up. And Abreu 0 for 4 on the night. Tight, ball 1. That fastball split the plate in half. And it's 1-1.
This is where I think you'll see Abreu trying to take him the other way. A little tough angle for a right-hander, but he usually will sit and look to go the opposite way and stay on everything. If you can get him to roll over on one, you can get him into a double play. See him go inside out. You see him stay inside the ball. That's what's made him such a great hitter for so long and such a great RBI guy. He doesn't give in and try to be the hero and pull it that way. If he's going to beat you, he'll beat you to right field if he can.
Second in the majors in runs batted in since he made his debut in 2014.
Yeah, not surprising.
High pop, shallow right. In comes Kwan. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. And Luis Robert will be the batter. Luis Robert singled back in the first inning to extend his hitting streak to 8 games. And that's outside for ball 1. Two balls, no strikes. Be careful here. This guy has tremendous power. Chops it foul, third base side, and it's now 2-1. Yasmani Grandal waiting on deck, but there are 2 down. And it's now 2-2. Now in the bottom of the ninth with a runner at first and 2 down, and the 2-2 pitch is fouled off to the right. Again, Nick Sandlin ready, fires a little high, and now a full count.
Well, now Moncada will get a little jump start at first base. I know the outfield is deep, but they've got to, if they see anything in the gaps, get to it quickly and get it in. He'll be off and running on the pitch.
There goes the runner, and it's ball 4. So now Grandal with a chance to be the hero after the second ninth inning walk allowed by Nick Sandlin. So Austin Hedges going to go out to talk it over. Grandal walked and scored in the first. Since then has struck out all 3 times. The Guardians will go heavy on the right side defensively. Ramirez will stay on the left side of the infield by himself near third base. Miles Straw shading him just a bit toward left in center field.
Well, I can see him shading him that way because that's where the wind's carrying it out that way now to left field. So
I guess he called that low, ball one.
had to. That had part of it was right in the middle of the plate, so it looked like a good pitch, but he had to call it low, no question.
Bullseye. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, that's okay because that one's top of zone, and he got a call.
Two balls and a strike. There have been 2 fly ball outs to right field and 2 walks in this bottom half of the 9th inning in an 8-8 ball game. And now he's on the verge of loading the bases. You know Grandal's
well, this is a guy
probably
that
going to take here.
Draws the walk. He certainly does. So after you walk Robert, you got to go after this guy.
He did take, and now the string is out. Second straight, full count, and the runners will both be off on this 3-2 to Grandal. Out of play. It was 8-2 going into the 9th. And the Guardians rallied for 6 runs to tie it up. But now Chicago threatening to spoil it. There go the runners. And he's walked and loaded. Incredible. Here comes Carl Willis. He'll go out and talk with Sandlin. The batter will be Adam Engel, who came on defensively for Gavin Sheets when it looked like the White Sox had all but put this one away. And then Engel, in his only at bat of the night, in the 8th inning, lifted a fly ball to left field. Looked like it was going to be the second out of the inning, and Ahmed Rosario just flat dropped it. Just as Gavin Sheets had dropped the fly ball for Chicago in the first inning in right field.
Yeah, this has been a weird game between errors, and now you get the walks and a couple of home runs, a big inning. This has been a very strange game to start this road trip out in a 3-game series there in Chicago. They're on a 6-game winning streak. The Guardians 7 out of 9.
Outside ball 1.
He doesn't want to throw strikes. 26 pitches, 14 of them balls.
And a great play by Ramirez to throw to first. Oh my goodness! Naylor with an outstanding stretch to save the game, and we will have extra innings in Chicago. First, a great diving stop, and then he had to quickly get to his feet and unload and watch Naylor stretch and keep his foot on the bag.
Nice.
Well, we're going to try to recap what happened in the 9th inning, but it won't be easy. Andres Jimenez led it off with a solo home run. All right, it's 8-3 at that point. Then Ahmed Rosario gets a base hit, and then Austin Hedges rolls one to third that is kicked. Rosario scores because there had been another error earlier in the inning. Then Owen Miller gets a base hit. And then Josh Naylor with the bags loaded.
John
unloads with a grand slam, capping a 6-run night.
That tied it up. And then you can't believe how it ended in the bottom half of that inning. And this play here by Ramirez, a beautiful play and pick on the backside of that to get out of that inning after 3 walks by Sandlin. This game is crazy. That's all I can say.
Arch, you shouldn't be surprised. You told us all night. You said when we were in our last game, these two teams play like this.
Yeah, they
do. This is just who they are.
And but not this sloppy.
I know, but there is an intensity down in this dugout.
There is now.
It is now. It's a shame it took this long, but it's here.
Well, here is Andres Jimenez with, again, we've got the runner at second base to start in extra innings. So Ernie Clement is running for Franmil Reyes, and Reynaldo Lopez, the new pitcher for Chicago.
I guess this is only appropriate for the way this 3-game series is starting, the way these two teams have played.
The other thing, they've been able to go through a lot of that bullpen, something that you want to do in the beginning of a series.
Yeah.
You know? And once again, we're in an extra inning game, and you see the third baseman pulled in. I don't think he's going to bunt, guys.
He hasn't tipped his hand if he is, and he's not. And he fouls that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now Tito gives them the opportunity to.
Yeah, he's not going to give up an out here.
No.
I agree with you.
As you said, pull the ball to the second base.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, if you feel like you got to get him over because you can't pull the ball, go right ahead and bunt. But he's swinging the bat. You don't want to give up an out. Hit it on the ground, they might boot it.
No doubt.
Rip. Ball down the left field line.
How about that?
Scoring is Ernie Clement, and Andres Jimenez stays locked in at the plate. His 2nd straight hit. He homered in the 9th. Now he's got an RBI double. That gives him 22 hits in his last 17 games.
That ball was smoked. That was a vicious line drive, and it just stuck inside the line. I mean to tell you, he got on top of a high fastball and just sliced it that way. It gets past Moncada. You see it sneaking in the line and just trade positions with him. Nice job. Gets the run in. They take the lead.
Rick, he's now 11 for 24 with runners in scoring position this year. Now Ahmed Rosario, who has 3 straight hits in the game.
And you know what he's like when he gets 3.
Well, I was thinking, Dre, he must have been listening to me earlier when I talked about.
You called it. You called it.
After 28 games last year, this is when he hit the gas pedal, and he's doing it again.
And he took off last year at this
hit
point.
360 in his next 29 games.
Love to see him do it again. Right now, case in point, get the runner over. Or get him in if you like.
Well, I was going to say, but he hits the ball the other way pretty well anyway, so you can let him just normal.
Yeah, but he's seeing it right now. He's getting himself in a good hitter's count. And listen, he's confident in the box. He wants to make up for what he did out there in left field. I guarantee you that.
He's had 3 long conversations about that miss with Oscar Mercado, with Kyle
no
Hudson,
doubt.
with Kyle. He's going to every outfielder, going through what's the best steps.
Don't worry. He's not thinking about it now. He's thinking about getting a base knock. And look at the swing
he went up the ladder and almost clobbered that one.
Tell you what, he's up there with a lot of confidence in the box right now. Hey, we saw Sheets do it and you know, redeemed himself in the 1st inning. Ahmed's had 3 straight hits. I'd love to see him get 1 more.
And it's quiet here.
Oh, I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love it. That's the greatest thing about playing on the road. There you go.
One the other way.
Come on, tag up.
Robert makes the catch. Tagging is Jimenez. He'll go to 3rd.
Good job.
And there's one out. So a productive out for Rosario. Moving that runner to third.
Now get him in. You got the hedgehog.
Meanwhile, in the bullpen, Emmanuel Clase is getting ready. The Guardians closer. An opportunity.
Yeah, their infield's going to come in. Cut of the grass.
Hedges, by the way, has 2 hits, and he's been on base 3 times because in the 9th, he hit a ground ball to third that was initially ruled a hit. Then
he had 3 hits. They took one away from him.
That was a little league hit.
Yeah.
Swung through it now.
Go to right field with it. He tried to pull it.
Lopez knows he needs a strikeout.
Yeah, he's looking for a strikeout, but here I don't think you send him on contact, though. A lot of times you may send that one guy on contact, but we got to see if Hedgie can put it in play and go the other way with it.
You know, a year ago, this is when he was at his best, when he had opportunities to be productive, whether it was move a runner, get a guy in from third. But he's down in the count here, 0-2.
Nope.
Pops it up.
Come halfway.
Tim Anderson is there. 2 down. And now to the top of the order, and Miles Straw. Miles Straw is 0 for 5 tonight.
Perfect time for a hit. Perfect time for a hit. 0 for 5. Right man in the right spot. 2 outs. They've done some damage again with 2 outs tonight. Let's continue it.
To Anderson, big hop, he'll throw him out. Andres Jimenez puts the Guardians in front in the 10th with an RBI double, and now Emmanuel Clase will try to close it out next. Now bottom of the 10th inning. Emmanuel Clase coming in for Cleveland. Clase has saved 6 out of 7 on the year. He'll have the bottom third of the order for Chicago. A.J. Pollock, Reese McGuire, Leori Garcia are due up. But again, with the rules, the tying run will be in scoring position. Adam Engel, who made the last out in the bottom of the 9th, will be the runner at second base.
Good wheels.
Defensively now for Cleveland, Stephen Kwan goes from right field over to left, and Oscar Mercado is now in the ballgame in right field. How many times has the phrase "it's never over till it's over" been uttered, right? And everybody should know that plays this game, but you always wonder in these situations, just like Liam Hendricks and Emmanuel Clase, at what point mentally did they say, well, I'm probably not going to
check out of here?
You know, it just happens. It's human nature.
Yeah.
You start thinking, well, I'm probably not going to pitch now. And then all of a sudden the alarm bells start going off. Well, here's Clase with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike one to A.J. Pollock. And he creased one in the 8th inning, a 3-run homer. And he spanks it into right field. Engel was going back towards second base, so he'll have to hold it third. And so the White Sox have a great opportunity, though, now to at least tie the game.
Yeah, you can't do anything. You have to make sure. That was a line drive. He put a really nice stroke on this ball from Class A. He goes the other way with it. Line drive. You got to keep play. You're in scoring position. Look at him. You're only going to go up one base at a time. That's the right move as a base runner. Give Pollock credit. He did a good job off that fastball away by Class A to take it that way. So now they have runners at the corners.
And Reese McGuire is the batter. Middle infielders, double play depth. Corner guys even with the bags.
Get one.
Oh, he doesn't get one. He throws home. And the White Sox have tied the game, and there's still nobody out.
Yeah, he let the game speed up. You need to get an out there. It's only a tie game. That's not the winning run, so you don't have to go for it. This is one where you go to first base, they get the runner to second, they score the run to tie the game. But now you didn't get an out, and they have first and second, and now your work is really cut out for you. He let the game speed up on him there. Even though Naylor was there, he could have got back to first base in time to get the out at first. They don't do it. The run's going to score regardless. I told you he had good speed. That's where a pitcher doesn't know the runners and the speed that they have on the bases like a defender does.
So now it's a 9-9 ball game. Winning run at second base. Leori Garcia bunts. Clase goes to first. One down. Winning run 90 feet away. And Tim Anderson will be the batter. And so now you need a strikeout.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough call. Or a pop-up.
Anderson is 1 for 5 tonight.
Hold on a second. They're looking at timeout. They want to find out what's going on. They're going to walk.
Put him on.
Yeah, that makes sense. You don't let that guy beat you. He's been hot. Now the double plays in order, and plus a strikeout is, and you're going to pitch to the guy who's making his first start of the year because he was on the IL.
So Yoan Moncada. Can't make this stuff up, can you?
No.
First start of the year. In his first at bat, he was hit by a pitch. Came around to score White Sox first run of the night. He singled in the 5th. He walked in the 9th. Now he's got a chance to win it in the 10th. Infield in. Clase fires. Threw it by him.
Well, he was trying to hit that one as far as he could. And let's hope he continues that process with the swing, because the harder you swing, the better it is for Clase to get a strikeout. He had the right oblique that he was out with all year.
One ball, one strike. Clase. He deals, and it was up top, bottom, or top of the strike zone at 1-1. And Moncada is in the hole. A ball and 2 strikes with Abreu on deck. Infield in, outfield in. 1-2 pitch. In off the plate to even the count.
He's keeping him honest. He is not giving him any swinging room whatsoever.
Ground ball to short. Jimenez comes home. They get the out there. 2 down.
That's all you're looking for. Give him a good feed. He's kept his foot on the plate. You get the lead runner. And you get the second out. He put the ball in play. He did the best he could do. But watch Jimenez come in and just make sure you give him a good feed. Keep your foot there. Now, as a base runner, you try and get that back foot of the catcher so he can't make a throw to first. He didn't have time. It wasn't hit that hard. But you made the play you had to make.
And the batter is Jose Abreu. Bases still loaded. But now with 2 down, everybody backs up to normal depth. And because Abreu sprays the ball all over the field, they play him pretty much straight up. Straw cheating a little toward right in center field. That's up high, ball 1. Abreu 0 for 5 tonight. Nine in the 10th. And that one was absolutely a rocket out of the right hand of Emmanuel Clase, and it's 1-1. Nothing like a 93-mile-an-hour slider.
Yeah, and when he's throwing both of them, he's awfully tough to put it in play against.
To short, Jimenez goes to second for the force. And we'll go to the 11th, tied at 9. Reynaldo Lopez, who pitched the 10th and allowed a run, even though it won't be charged as an earned run because it was the ghost runner, if you will, that scored. But he'll stay on the pitch, and the runner will be Miles Straw at second base, so that's good. You've got great speed to try and regain the lead. Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Owen Miller are going to be the batters. I mean, you can't ask for anything more.
Right. I mean, they had their inning set up, and you know, they had a chance to win the game and couldn't do it after a mistake. But
so Miles Straw will take his position at second. Stephen Kwan has singled in 4 at-bats tonight. He has walked, stolen a base. He scored 3 runs. So Kwan's had a nice evening. What happened?
I think
here?
we have an injury here. Possibly.
Yeah, they got the trainer coming
out
with LaRussa. Went and talked to the umpire, and
his warm-ups have been really slow.
Yeah, he's out.
They're taking him out.
Yeah, they have a right-hander up in the pen.
So this is how this whole week is going to go, guys? You guys ready for this?
Oof. So I guess we'll take yet another timeout here. Burr will get plenty of time to warm up. Ryan Burr, right-hander, will be coming on when we come back in a tie game in the 11th. Ryan Burr is the 7th White Sox pitcher of the night. And he'll be coming on after Reynaldo Lopez had to leave the game for some apparent injury or concern. It's a 9-9 ball game, and Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Owen Miller will bat for Cleveland. Miles Straw will be the runner at second base in this, the 11th inning of play.
What a wild evening this has
You're
been.
not kidding.
This went from a game that was, you thought, all but said and done, to a tie game, and now both teams trying to fight to win it. The White Sox trying to keep their streak alive at 6, and they're looking to get number 7. And the Guardians have won 7 of 9. They're looking to with a big 6-run night.
The White Sox have left the bases loaded in the last 2 innings. And Cleveland has scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings, 8 runs in the last 3 innings. They scored 1 in the 8th, 6 in the 9th, and 1 in the 10th. By the way, that's the second 6-run 9th inning they've had already this year. Remember down in Cincinnati?
Yes,
they had a 6-run 9th inning.
Yes, they did. But that wasn't the tie the game. That was to blow it up, blow it open.
Yeah, this was a little.
This is a comeback, a snatch him back.
All right, I think we're ready for action. Ryan Burr will go against Stephen Kwan, and Burr's pitched well. I mean, last 13 appearances, he's given up 1 run.
Now, this whole bullpen you mentioned has been pitching very well. An ERA of under 1. But once again, from the 7th inning on, guess who's scoring?
7th inning on, and I mean, a lot of things tonight. The Cleveland, just that grinded out, gritty approach, and the White Sox shoddy defense. It finally bit them.
It sure did.
They got away with a couple early. I mean, the error in the first inning cost him 1 run, but it could have cost him more. They got away with an error in the 5th when Cleveland left 2 men on base, but in the 9th, 2 more errors opened the door.
Yeah, you give any team 4 extra outs in a ball game, and it should come back and bite you.
Kwan with a liner towards center field, but it hangs up, and Robert makes the catch.
He hit it well, but not deep enough to where he could move the runner along.
And now Jose Ramirez.
I want to see if they pitched him here.
I just heard a fan yell, "Put him on!"
Right.
Obviously, Tony La Russa didn't hear him.
Well, they know their approach. Pretty good pitch, but it was called a ball. He went with the slider.
I know Ramirez is 0 for 4 tonight, but he's a career .280 hitter against the White Sox. 28 home runs.
They know what this man can do. Everybody in baseball does.
Tim Anderson, meanwhile, has to bird dog Miles Straw because he'll take off and swipe third if they're not careful. They're telling us Reynaldo Lopez left the game with low back tightness. Owen Miller waits on deck. And Ramirez got after a pitch that was almost in the dirt. You can try to pitch around Ramirez, but he may hit a pitch that's not a strike.
Well, he would certainly expand if he felt like he could handle it. But they seem to be going right at him.
Outside, full count. And that's ball 4. So they could have saved us a lot of time and just put him on base. And now Owen Miller will bat with 2 men on and 1 out. Miller singled and scored in the 9th. Popped him up. That's a big out right there. 2 down. But he's got another big out to go because Josh Naylor, last time up, he did this. With the bases loaded, a grand slam. Their 5th grand slam of the year.
Right.
And this is game 29.
That's hard to do. Game tying grand slam in the 9th inning. Last one to do it was Uncle Mike.
Michael Brantley in 2018. And ball 1 to Naylor, who now has 13 runs batted in his last 9 games. He clobbers another one. Deep right field. Back is Engel. He's out of room. It's out of here. Naylor's done it again. Yes, indeed. A grand slam in the 9th. A 3-run homer with 2 out in the 11th.
Boy, has this guy been just money. Look at him.
8 RBI night.
Look at him.
Oh, man, look out. Get out of his way. He's a human tornado.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you talk about a night. And, oh, man, he's trying to turn. Look at, I never saw anybody so happy than Reyes. Jump out of that dugout. He ran back and forth in front of it while Naylor was running around the bases. Wow.
Josh Naylor turning into a force of nature here in Chicago. And even some of the most ardent White Sox supporters are headed for the parking lot. 12-9 Guardians. And Ernie Clement, who came on to run for Franmil Reyes in the 10th inning, gets an at bat here in the 11th. Trevor Stephan will be the guy to try and close it out now for Cleveland. Ernie sends a high fly ball to right. Engel makes the catch. One more look at Josh Naylor. He tied it in the 9th. He puts him ahead in the 11th. Josh Naylor having himself a night.
My goodness.
He's got 8 runs batted in the last 4 innings.
Look at that. That was a grand slam that tied it up in the 9th. And I mean, that was just something special because they wanted to win the ball game. But to come back and get an opportunity, still in a tie game, and hit another one, a 3-run homer. That was on a breaking ball. That man was, he was out of his mind. I'm telling you, he didn't stop, and he kept going. Look at Reyes. Reyes was out in front of the dugout going absolutely bonkers. Look at that.
You don't think he plays with some emotion?
I'm telling you, his feet aren't even on the ground right now.
Those guys, the White Sox fans around the dugout, were all over him, and that was just Josh basically telling him, go stick it in your ear.
Catch it, big man.
Yes, sir. 1 down. Trevor Stephan has been brilliant this year, trying to close this out now here in the 11th. He could run back to the hotel. He doesn't even need a car or a bus or anything.
He could fly back.
He could carry the whole team on his back to the hotel. You know, I've told people this too before that see maybe our interviews with Josh, or they see how he interacts with Andre after a ball game, or you watch him, just how he reacted here tonight, and they wonder, is that that's just him. That's him every single day. He is consistently that kind of guy.
Well, I've been the last 24 hours. I've been trying to think of better ways to show who he is in interviews, because he's so laid back and he doesn't like talking about himself. And I said to him today, because I went in the clubhouse before the game, and he was sitting with Jose trying to speak Spanish to Jose. And I kind of said to him, I was like, how much do you work on that? He goes, man, I want to be a great teammate to all of these guys. So if I got to learn a couple other words so Jose's comfortable talking to me, I'll learn a couple more words, because I want him to know I got his back. That's who Josh Naylor is. And he came in here, the last one. He wants to be a guy that his guys can trust and believe in when the game's on the line.
Well, if you don't trust or believe in him now, there's something wrong with you.
He was yelling. He was yelling.
Release who doesn't believe it.
Yeah, release him right now. But he was yelling, "Feed me, feed me. I'll take it all. Just feed me, baby."
He's a football player masquerading
hockey player
as a baseball player.
Yes,
yeah, I know he's a hockey guy, but swing and a miss. Down goes Grandal, and there are 2 down here in the 11th.
I'll tell you what, this game here, get one more out, they come away winners. This is one game you can take out of the loss column and put it in, and they can't feel any better about themselves than they will after this ball game.
And the White Sox can't feel any worse.
Exactly. Because it was theirs to win, and they gave it away.
I know it's one game, and that's what the mantra will be. Hey, it's one game. But there'll be some guys walking around in that clubhouse after the game like zombies, like, what just happened?
Well, this could be a turning point, throughout the course of a season, something like this one game. .98. And it's 1-1 on Adam Engel. And the White Sox down to their last strike. Spun him out of there.
Shows he has no respect for you.
And Stephen with the 2-2. Well, if he loses angle, the White Sox will get the tying run to the plate.
Well, you got to go at him right here. Give him a fastball. Don't walk him.
And the 3-2. Strike three called. Book it. Maybe the most improbable win in a long time for this ball club. Down 6-2. I'm sorry, down 8-2 going into the ninth inning, and they score 6 runs to tie it. And Josh Naylor is the first player ever to hit a grand slam and a 3-run homer from the ninth inning on in a ball game.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'll tell you what, this was something special. I mean, you know, you erase all the bad things that happen in a ball game when you come back and you win a game like that. And now the White Sox have to sit down and dwell on the bad things and the negative things that happen in this ball game, and they will. But boy, smiles all over there, and rightfully
Chris
so.
Valleca.
Yeah, and you don't think he's proud of that offense?
I'll tell you what. From the 7th inning on, they did it again.
That's all I can say is wow.
All right, time now for Guardians Live postgame with Alan Jensen. So many heroes, so many great individual efforts. I know the headlines will scream Josh Naylor, but boy, he had a lot of help in setting the table and getting this one in the win column here tonight, guys.
We good?